Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, peacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checkered flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, added flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. 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 Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, peacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, added flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in. As we get ready to rock and roll, we get ready to go to battle here this evening from the beautiful Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to set these drivers loose, as it is the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League here this evening in the Eli 300 here this evening. The Eli 300 here this evening, and we are going to get ready to see these drivers go to battle, duke it out, and try to put themselves up and into victory lane here for what is going to be a very epic race, man. This is going to be some great action, a lot of good hard green flag laps out there, a lot of battling door to door, 2 wide, 3 wide, down and into these corners and through these corners, and when we come off of these corners, man, things are going to get very, very tight. Drivers are going to be bouncing and rubbing and scrubbing. The fenders and the sparks are going to be flying here this evening as each and every driver trying to put themselves up and into the top position as the quick time to the 32 of Nick Biddy. Biddy to the top of the speed charts here in this one. So Biddy jumps to the top of the charts. Wyatt Mickelson in the HendrickCars.com number 51 slides up into third now as we get a new quick time out there on the racetrack. It's Evan Stewart. Stewart with the quick time, but it won't last for long as we get a new quick time out there on the racetrack. It's Noah Blackwell. But Blackwell, he's not going to have it for very long either, as Wyatt Mickelson will jump back up a couple more spots and put that HendrickCars.com ride to the top of the speed charts. Quick time now belongs to the 51 machine. Can somebody jump up here and knock him out of that top spot? We still see Grant Applegate rolling out there on the racetrack. Can Applegate jump up there and take this pole position away from Wyatt Mickelson down across the line? No, just a little bit shy. Comes up about 100th of a second short of picking up that pole position as Joe David in that G. Loomis machine jumps out there onto the racetrack and right now sits back in the 8th position. Now back the 9th is Jason Bogart in that Zin 17 machine, the 1776 ride up and into position number 9 on the racetrack. Caleb Holloman, he's out there on the Speedway, the beautiful 1776 Motorsports Dr. Pepper ride. The Black Cherry machine here this evening jumps up into 7th as we do see Jacob Hefner out there in that beautiful 95 ride. Hefner looking for another strong run here this evening as we do see Jordan Brinkley still yet to qualify here in that beautiful number 11 ride. Benjamin Romano out there in that always amazing, always beautiful looking Napa Auto Parts number 9 machine out there on the Speedway. Aiden Lucas in his ride jumping out there, that Go Racing diecast ride jumps out there onto the Speedway. Beautiful patriotic paint scheme. He's going to get up into the outside fence right there, so that lap is not going to count for the 34 ride, so he'll have to see if he can get things locked and loaded here for lap number 2 this afternoon, as we're still waiting for a bunch of other drivers still to qualify here this evening. We haven't seen Marshall Harris, Keegan Huey, Zach Clater, Trenton Johns, Jordan Fisher, Nick Jensen, Donnie Lee, Josh Kreider, or Matthew Wood lay down lap times yet this afternoon, so we're still waiting for a few of them to jump out there as we do see Clay Bellamy jumps up into 13th as Jordan Brinkley going to slide right in front of him in position number 12. Benjamin Romano up into 8th, but it's still Wyatt Mickelson with the quick time here in this one as NJB Design says, "Hi, Daddy, what's good, Noah? What's good, Mr. Blackwell? How are ya?" Logan Perriman also says, "Peacemaker, can I get a shout out? It's a 21st B-Day." Absolutely, Logan. Absolutely, brother. I don't know who I'm shouting out, but whoever's birthday it is in the Logan Perriman stable, happy mother fluffin' birthday. Happy 21st. Hopefully you have a good time. Hopefully you have a wonderful 21st birthday. Hopefully it's something special. Hopefully you do something special, and maybe hopefully Logan will treat you to, a nice dinner out or something here one of these nights coming up. And say it's Kemp's Memorial Day race. Got my grandfather, SSG Russell Holler's name on my banner. Fought in World War II. Hopefully White and I can get our cars up front. Kev, hopefully we can see both of those cars get to the front of the field, but especially yours, brother. Always love to see those, banners for the family members and just showing the support for the troops and everything else, man. It's absolutely amazing. We love that you got your grandfather on board with you here today, and hopefully he can guide you and that car right up and maybe into victory lane. So here we go. Qualifying has come to a close. That means we're going to get ready to rock and roll. We're going to get ready to go green flag racing here in this one. And starting on the pole in the number 51 machine, It is that HendrickCars.com ride. That is Wyatt Mickelson who will start in the pole position. To his outside, it is Grant Applegate. Applegate will start there in position number 2, and Noah Blackwell, the Bad Dragon number 18 ride, starting there in 3rd. Aiden Lucas will start there in 4th in that beautiful 34 Goat Racing diecast ride. And then we see the number 37, another beautiful American flag paint scheme machine, the U.S. Army ride. That is the 37 of Evan Stewart, who will start in 5th. He was outside in the Sim Racing Center 74 ride. That is the Beyond Detailing number 74 Jaden Porter. Starting in position number 7 in the number 32, that is Nick Biddy here himself with that beautiful Nick Biddy Designs number 32 ride. Starting in that 7th position to his outside, the all-black number 95 ride, that is Jacob Hefner. Starting in position number 9 in the 9 ride, that is the beautiful American flag number 9 machine, the Napa Auto Parts ride of Benjamin Romano. To his outside in the Jurassic World Black Cherry Dr. Pepper 97 ride, that is Caleb Halderman rounding out our top 10. Caleb Sisk in the beautiful Nick Biddy Designs 06 ride will start there in position number 11. To his outside in the 17, the Zin machine, that is Jason Bogart. Starting in position number 13 in the 11 ride, that is Jordan Brinkley. To his outside in the number 33, it's the Team CFM Esports ride. It is Clay Bellamy. And then we see the 00 ride, that beautiful looking machine here this evening, in loving memory of Eli, who is the main title of this race. This is the Eli 300. This is a race that Michael Durham Jr. wanted to put on here in memoriam of his son that passed away. Our hearts, our prayers go out to Michael Durham Jr. and his family. I know it's been a couple weeks, even now a couple months now. It seems like it's been a little while, but man, that sting never is going to go away, man. Our hearts are always with you guys in that difficult moment, man. And here tonight, Eli, he's running with you, running with all of us here this evening. As we do see him starting to the outside there in the 16th position, and we see Ryan Haller in the 23, right there behind him, Zach Perry, Joe David, Ethan Greek there, as well as Michael Ponder Jr. in that number 22. Logan Perriman there in 20th, and then we see Caden Gargiulo, the number 16, that is the Racers for Christ rider Matthew Wood, Jordan Fisher, Zach Later, Josh Kreider, Nick Jensen, Keegan Huey, Trent Johns bringing up the rear of the field. Is 29 drivers getting ready to go to battle here this evening in the Eli 300 here with the Wheel to Wheel Racing League, as we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing, and Wyatt Mickelson on the loud pedal trying to lead us down through quarter 1 and out of 2, but up on the high side a big run coming from Grant Applegate. Applegate quickly gonna pull out in front and take that race lead, as I'm not sure what's wrong with this number 51, but he's pulled down onto the apron. A slow ride here for the 51 ride, possibly a flat tire here in the opening lap. I'm not sure what is wrong with his car, but looks like he's gonna take it right down pit side here. Hopefully gets checked up. No speeding penalties here, as we do see the caution flag be displayed. Caution flag is out on the racetrack. Yellow flag here this evening, as we get a little bit of mayhem down through the tri-oval here on lap number 1. That's a good break for Wyatt Mickelson as he was headed down pit road here. For everybody else, that is not what they wanted to see, as Wyatt is now going to be right there at the rear of the field, as we'll take a look back and see what brings out this caution flag, how this got started, as we see a lot of debris, a lot of cars sliding through the grass right there, and we'll see how this kind of gets started, how this kind of plays out here, as there was a lot of drivers all of a sudden just in a tough spot out there on the racetrack, and one of them, oh, okay, there you go. That's where she gets started right there, and this is towards the front of the field. That's the 37 ride of Evan Stewart, the 9 ride right there of Benjamin Romano. These are drivers that started up inside the top 10, just battling outside of Nick Biddy, and tough break there for the 97 right as well, so he's going to get some pretty heavy contact. They're 3 wide, down and out at corner number 4, and I'm not sure if they all realized that they were 3 wide here, and things just closed up in a quick hurry between the 9, the 37. The 37 tries to move up and out of the way to not make contact with that 9 right. Unfortunately, ends up getting into that 97 machine, hooks him, turns him around down into the 9 right. Then you watch Caleb Sick, you watch Jordan Fisher, all these drivers just kind of really nowhere to go. Oh man, such a heavy hit there for that 06 ride. And look at all 4 tires on that ride, all of a sudden just start bouncing around, pointing the wrong direction. Jason Bogart just getting through there, everyone else trying to get checked up, trying to avoid it. Unfortunately for that 3 machine, ends up getting a pretty good piece of them right there. More damage for that 06 ride of Sick out there on the racetrack, and I do believe they continue to just keep on ranking a little farther down the racetrack here as well. As let's take a look at that 3 machine here. Now I'm not sure, that's probably Ethan Greek right here. So Ethan's just trying to slide his way through this, trying to avoid all this carnage as this is happening basically right in front of him. He gets a great front row seat at it, sees the smoke, sees the drivers wrecking, gets down low, tries to avoid him. Unfortunately, just could not miss that 06. You see Michael Durham Jr., he's down there on the apron. Everyone else just trying to work themselves back onto the racetrack and hopefully not get too much damage out there on the speedway. But for a lot of these cats, man, there was a ton of carnage. There was a ton of tore-up race cars right there. Let's see if we can jump on board with this 06 ride of Caleb Sick, see what he can see from the cockpit of this ride as our virtually our opening lap, but our second lap of the race. We see this carnage down across the start-finish line, and we're going to get a great look at it right there. There's the contact, then all of a sudden he's trying to drive away from it, gets tagged. Nothing he can do, nothing he can try to even do. This car is absolutely destroyed. Man, such a tough break right there for him. Nothing he could do. Such a fast car, such a great driver. We'll see if he can battle back here in this one. As he thinks he's through it. He thinks he's fine until the 9-rider Romano gets hooked and right back up the racetrack into him. And watch that car just get absolutely sandwiched into that outside fence. And then, yeah, man, all 3 tires, I want to say that left rear, the right front, just kind of all pointed the wrong direction. Look at that right rear right there. Just pointed in completely the wrong direction on that race car, and heavy damage early on. Look at that thing, just pointed outwards. That toe link completely snapped in half, and unfortunately a ton of damage for a bunch of very fast cars here this evening. And we'll get them all stacked up, we'll get them all racked up, and we'll get ready to try it all over again. We'll see if we can get going here again, as we did see Wyatt Mickelson have to make his way down pit road there. So a tough break there for Wyatt, as our pole sitter has to come down pit side. But luckily enough, that caution flag kind of saved him. If there wasn't a caution flag that early, then he probably would have been, you know, the first car potentially 1 lap down out there on the racetrack. He would have been way behind all the race leaders, and unfortunately would have had to wait for a caution flag or something to happen to try to get himself back into it. But here he is, right back into the mix, and he could quickly find himself battling up towards the front of the field and potentially still finding himself some points here in stage number 1. So we'll have to keep an eye out on him and see how much he can move forward. As you see that Lowe's 48 right, beautiful looking machine up there for Josh Kreider. Is Kreider going to get ready to rock and roll? You see Evan Stewart still back out there, and he's got that car back into one piece. A few of these other drivers getting their repairs, getting their cars back into decent condition. You do see some damage still on that 3 machine, as unfortunately for that Chrome ride, he's got some pretty solid damage on. Benjamin Romano looks like he's gotten that car fixed up, and you see damage still on the number 97 of Caleb Holloman. Holloman, unfortunately, pretty solid damage there on that 28, in the 28th position. And Caleb Sisk has that car repaired, but is multiple laps down out there on the speedway now. Is out in front, it's Grant Applegate. Applegate continuing to lead the way here in this one. Is down across the line. We'll click off another lap, and right there behind him, quickly trying to navigate his way to the front of the field. It is that 95 right of Jacob Hefner. Hefner up and into position number 2, and he is trying to hunt down our race leader here in the opening laps of this race. Is Noah Blackwell battling right there with him. Here comes Aiden Lucas down to his inside. Aiden looking for a big run here down low underneath of Blackwell, and here comes Jordan Brinkley as well. Brinkley early on up 8 positions, has that BHR machine up inside the top 5 here. So a great great drive early on out of this number 11 wide, making a lot of passes out there on the racetrack is Nick Biddy, Jaden Porter, Jordan Fisher now up 18 positions as Fisher in that beautiful number 19 ride. We're loving the yellow or the orange and green, and now we see contact around. He goes up into the outside fence. Oh, baby. Tough break right there for him. I feel like that was a bit of an announcer's curse right there, as I believe it's the Hardy Designs HB Racing number 19 machine who's going to end up with some pretty heavy damage right there. Well, let's take a look back. There was some smoke in front of him, so we'll see if there was more contact potentially a little farther forward in the field, and I do believe we may see some contact here, maybe between the 18 and the 34 right here. There it is. There's that contact. 18 sliding sideways right there. He's trying to catch it. Luckily enough, he does catch it. Now there's more contact in front of him. It's Aiden Lucas. Has that car sideways, getting checked up right there. Luckily enough, everyone able to keep their cars, for the most part, pointing in the right direction. And I think this is kind of what we're going to see a little farther back behind them here. I think this is where we're going to see, I do believe it was the 19 right of Jordan Fisher here. I'm not sure if he gets a good look at this and sees this happening and starts to get onto the binders here. No, looks like virtually at the same time. Just contact into that left rear quarter panel. Unfortunately for the 19 ride, he gets it a whole lot worse than the 18 of Noah Blackwell. Blackwell was able to hang on to it for the 19 ride. Nothing he could really do right here. Gets hooked down the racetrack. He ends up hitting the apron. I think that's what really does him in, is it just shoots him right back up the racetrack. He almost gets it saved again, but then slams up into that fence. And from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong, and around he goes, and around the caution flag comes out as... Okay, couple more tore-up race cars out there on the racetrack. Everyone trying to avoid the 19 right. Everyone trying to keep themselves out of trouble here. And looks like everyone will keep on rocking and rolling, and we'll get everyone back out there onto the racetrack and ready to try to go back to green flag racing here in this one, as now we see some early pit stops. A bunch of drivers elected to come down pit side right there, including Grant Applegate. Applegate hasn't came down pit road until now. And early on, only on lap number 9, seems like a bit of an odd time to already come down pit road, unless if you're just trying to play that fuel mileage game or just trying to get that one up and to give up that track position and put yourself back here into the 9th spot of the racetrack. Definitely seems like a tough place to be. You've brought Ian Lucas down with them, Zach Perry, Jaden Porter, Josh Kreider, Evan Stewart, Jason Bogart, Caden Gargiulo, Logan Perriman, all these drivers coming back down pit road right there. And now, luckily enough, we did see a couple of drivers trying to get the waiver rounds and lucky dogs, as Ethan Greek still down pit side getting his car repaired. Wyatt Mickelson, I do believe Mickelson is back on to the lead lap, or still sitting a lap down. And you take a look here, Mickelson does have some pretty heavy right front damage on that ride as well, after having already an issue having to come down pit road on the opening lap. And now with that contact, our pole sitter off to a rough start here this evening. We'll get them all loaded up and ready to go back to battle. We'll get ready to set these guys back loose once again. Is out in front, leading this race now. It is Jacob Hefner. Hefner out in front with the 11 wide of Jordan Brinkley there to his outside. Nick Biddy in position number 3 with Clay Bellamy there in position number 4. Michael Durham Jr., Joe David, Trent Johns, Ryan Haller, Aiden Lucas, and Grant Applegate rounding out our top 10 out there on the racetrack. As we'll get ready to set them back loose, we'll get ready to go to battle here again this evening and see who can put themselves up and into victory lane here in the Eli 300. Each and every one of these drivers slow pace down behind the pace car, just getting ready to strike, getting ready to figure out what they need to do to try to put themselves up and into victory lane here this evening. It's going to be an interesting one to really see who's going to be able to make the moves, who's going to be able to find the gear, and if this ends up being a bit more of a pit strategy style of a race. We've already seen drivers head down pit road here, make early pit stops. Other drivers still staying out there, not coming down pit road as of yet. So let's see how this kind of plays out. Who ends up in a good position? Who ends up maybe stealing some points or stealing a potential, a bonus point here with the stage wins? It's going to be a wild one, man. It's already been a wild one. We're only 11 laps in to this feature event, ladies and gentlemen, as here we go back to green flag racing. Green flag back out into the air, and quickly the 95 ride able to clear that 11 machine is my boy Justin Johnson. What's good, Justin? Justin coming in, showing the love. What's good, JJ? Justin showing the love here this evening, dropping that like on the stream over there on Facebook. Bionic Man also coming in, showing the love there as well on FB as well, showing the big love here this evening. I appreciate that, fellas. There's been some great racing action out there on the Speedway as the sun's starting to set here in Charlotte, and that means that the lights are about to turn on and racing under the lights here at Charlotte, man, always so much fun. And for these drivers, it just makes the racetrack that much better, that much more interesting, and having to try to keep up and trying to make sure that you can keep yourself, pointing in the right direction here, and just trying to keep yourself alive for when that car really comes to life, as some of these cars struggle early on in the daylight still, and as that night starts to set in, their cars get better and better and better. So we'll have to wait and see who's got the setup here, who's got the right mindset and ability and setup to put themselves into the best position possible. As Jacob Hefner, Jordan Brinkley, and now Clay Bellamy, our top three out there on the racetrack, with Nick Biddy there in fourth. The 6 of Joe David up inside the top 5 now, as the 00 rider Michael Durham Jr. rolls there in that 6th position, as the 34 of Aiden Lucas down to his inside. Haller right there as well in that 23 machine, the Xfinity USA Air Force, right there in position number 8. Trent Johns back there behind him in position number 8 on the racetrack, or actually position number 9 for the 8 car on the racetrack, because he's got Grant Applegate in that 37 of Evan Stewart all over him, trying to figure out a way to get around that number 8 ride. Applegate able to make quick work of him, but here comes that U.S. Army number 37 right of Evan Stewart, trying to figure out a way back inside the top 10 for Evan here this evening, as he looks to try to cruise control around Johns out there on the racetrack. Zach Perry in tow with Caden Gargiulo back there in 13th. Josh Kreider and Jordan Fisher back up inside the top 15. Here's Fisher trying to navigate his way back up to the front after using that quick repair, getting that car fixed back up and back out there onto the Speedway. Lucky right there that he was able to use that, have that in his back pocket. Is Jason Bogart, Caleb Holloman, Logan Perriman, the 74 rider Jaden Porter, the 18 machine of Noah Blackwell rolling there in 20th, and then we see the number 42 and Nick Jensen back here. Beautiful looking paint scheme here as well for Mr. Jensen out there on the Speedway. Matthew Wood in the Wood car rolling there in 22nd. Ethan Greek right behind him. The 22 of Michael Potter Jr. That 06 ride. That is Caleb Sisk. Unfortunately for Sisk, he is still at least 8 laps down out there on the racetrack, but another caution flag or two, he could quickly be back on the lead lap. So for Caleb Sisk and for Wyatt Mickelson, they are both 2 drivers 1 lap down out there on the racetrack. Really hoping to see some caution flags out there on the Speedway. The 9 ride of Benjamin Romano. Looks like Romano has taken his car actually off of the Speedway. So a tough break there for the 9 ride, already done and out of this race. Says out in front, continue to lead the way. It's that 95 ride of Jacob Hefner. Hefner at the point here with Nick Biddy right there. His back bumper. Biddy trying to hunt him down, as you see Aiden Lucas now working his way back up into the 3rd position here on the racetrack. Is, man, what a run for this 34 ride. Restarted this race back in position number 10, and he's quickly navigating his way back inside the top 3. So a good piece of driving here for that 34 is Brinkley. Joe David, our top 5, they're battling door to door here for that 4th position. Brinkley trying to hang on to it. Joe David trying to take it away from him here, as David up on the high side. The 11 of Brinkley down low. They make a little contact. There's contact in front of them. No caution flag. It's our race leader. Oh, brother, here we go again. No caution flag, and it's our race leader, and Aiden Lucas tied up and tore up out there on the racetrack. Oh, man, let's take a look back and take a look, see what happens. It looks like our race leader just flirting with a little bit too much speed out there, trying to get back onto the throttle too quick, and we're going to see what happens here in this one, as our race leader making a big mistake, gets down onto the apron right there. As he gets onto that paint, the rear end just starts to step out and around on him. He tries to correct it, overcorrects, shoots up the Speedway right up into the outside fence. Heavy damage for him, and then watch Aiden Lucas, nowhere to go, slams into the side of him. Heavy damage for both drivers. They both slide down and onto the apron, and since they were on the apron, we don't see the caution flag fly. No yellow flag out there on the racetrack, and for both of those drivers, definitely not the situation that they were hoping for. Definitely not the spot that they wanted to be tied up and into an issue with. And for both of them, looks like they're going to tow their cars back down pit road. So heartbreaker there for both of these guys. And now we do see Jacob Hafner rolling back out onto the racetrack. He is now multiple laps down. Aiden Lucas, he's still down pit road. Here he comes rolling back out onto the track. But for both those cats, it's going to be tough sledding to try to work themselves back onto the lead lap and back into the action here this evening. But there's still a lot of racing left to go. As Nick Biddy, he says thank you very much for that one, as he's able to consume that race lead. The guy that he was trying to hunt down, all of a sudden off the racetrack and out of his way. The driver that was back behind him trying to hunt him down, now no longer out there as well. So for Nick Biddy, definitely a great little bit of a swing right there, getting the drivers around him away from him, and he's got a little bit of a lead here, almost a second between himself and his 11th rider, Jordan Brinkley. As Brinkley rolls in second, Clay Bellamy right there with him. Joe David now into fourth with Evan Stewart up inside our top five. As Stewart rolls there in that fifth position, you see Grant Applegate right there with him, and Jordan Fisher navigating his way back up towards the front of the field here in this one, as Fisher just moving along here. After getting tied up and being a part of that last caution flag, the 19 now finds himself back inside the top 10, rolling in that 7th position. Caden Gargiulo right there behind him in that beautiful Team Watson Racing Setups number 7 machine. They're in 8th with Trent Johns in that Ghost Energy number 8 ride in position number 9. Michael Durham Jr. trying to hang on to our top 10 out there on the racetrack as he dukes it out, battles with Ryan Haller out there on the Speedway. Caleb Holloman getting a great seat watching those two slide back and forth and battle here for that 10th position as Michael Durham Jr. looking to try to take it away. Down low, you do see the 23 of Haller getting a great run right there, and Haller quickly jumps back up into 10th, steals that spot back away from the number 00. Michael Durham Jr. will have to try to mount another charge, but now that's the deal. Caleb Holloman is Holloman down to his inside, and here comes Noah Blackwell, and that number 76 is Zach Perry. Both of these drivers right there looking to try to make some moves, trying to put themselves up and into a better position on the racetrack and trying to gain a couple spots out here on the speedways. Now you do see Michael Durham Jr. get up a little too high, scrubs that outside fence, luckily enough able to hang on to it, but you do see that little bit of right front damage now to that 00 ride. As Logan Perriman back there rounding out our top 15 is the pair of yellow cars out there on the racetrack. It's Logan Perriman and Josh Kreider right there in 15th and 16th on the racetrack. Matthew Wood in the 16 car rolls in 17th there, and then we see the 17 car rolling in the 18th position out there on the racetrack. These guys need to move up one more position here so they can have the corresponding numbers to their positions out there on the racetrack. As Matthew Wood trying to get it done here, looking to try to make the move around that 48 rider Josh Kreider, is Jaden Porter trying to hunt them down. You do see that 38 rider Keegan Huey right there ready to rock and roll, as well as the Marines number 38 machine rolls there in the 20th position. Nick Jensen, the 22 of Michael Ponder Jr. Zach Later all the way back here in that Navy 39 ride in 23rd. Ethan Greek there in 24th with Caleb Sisk in position number 25 here. Sisk and Wyatt Mickelson still lead two drivers one lap down out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately for Jacob Hefner and Aiden Lucas, they are both multiple laps down out there on the speedway. They're going to need a bunch of caution flags and a bunch of wave arounds to try to work themselves back into the show. As Nick Biddy out in front, Biddy continuing to lead this race. Biddy at the front of the field here, showing these drivers that, man, he may be the car to beat here this evening, as Jordan Brinkley falling farther and farther back away from him, hanging on to position number 2 himself. But man, it's been a great race so far, man. A little bit of craziness, a little bit of chaos, and now we're starting to see some good green flag laps being laid down, and I do believe we will see a stage break at lap number 50. So the completion of lap 50 will be the end of stage number 1 here this evening. Lap number 100 will be the end of stage number 2 here today, and we got 6 sets of tires in the pits. So you get to start with one fresh set, and you get 6 back there behind pit wall. So it's going to be interesting to see when drivers try to use them, when they need to abuse them, and when they need to try to just kind of hang on and not use them up and maybe try to save a little bit. Maybe have that extra set for late in this race. We see that late race caution flag come out. Head down pit road, you put those fresh tires on, and maybe navigate yourself up into a better finish out there on the racetrack. As Jordan Brinkley, Clay Bellamy battling here for position number 2. It's allowing Nick Biddy to open up a little bit more of a race lead here as these two battle door to door out there on the racetrack. Grant Applegate now into position number 4 with Jordan Fisher right there with them. Fisher now inside the top 5. So from going to the going to the doghouse there during that last caution flag, the 19 ride bouncing back here, bringing that Hardy Designs number 19 up and into position number 5 now on the Speedway. Hayden Gargiulo there in 6 with Evan Stewart, Noah Blackwell, Joe David, and Caleb Holloman are top 10 out there on the Speedway, as we do see Michael Durham Jr. unfortunately making an unscheduled green flag pit stop here for the Grizzly 0-0 ride. Is heavy front end damage there for that 00 machine. Looks like he's going to have to come down pit road to get that thing repaired. The crew's going to go to work. They're going to get some fresh tires, some fuel into this car, and try to get him back out there onto the racetrack. Unfortunately, looks like he is going to go easily a lap down out there on the racetrack, as our race leader is already down and around him here on the racetrack. And fortunately for that 0-0 machine, not the way he wanted it to go here tonight in the Eli 300 here this evening. Is Nick Biddy out in front, Biddy leading the way. Bellamy right there in second. Let's jump on board here with this 33 ride, see what he can see from the cockpit around the racetrack as you hang down and through this triangle. Now it's a little bit of a different set of corners right there. It's almost like 2 extra corners on that front straightaway here at Charlotte before you head down into corner number 1. Pretty good banking here. You're able to roll onto the throttle pretty easily off corner number 2 here and try to carry all that momentum down the back straightaway into corner number 3. Now, corner number 3, we've seen drivers the odd time be able to make it full throttle, but really got to roll out of it there just a little bit till you hit about that center point. Able to turn that car down and in, and then back onto the throttle and just cruise right down through this triangle. And if you're 2 wide, 3 wide, you can see right there how quickly things close up and how quickly things can get tight out there on the racetrack. You run at a racing room without even knowing it. Let's see if we can jump on and take a look here with one of our other drivers and kind of look and see how much room these guys really got out there on the Speedway, as there's not a whole lot of room for error out there on the racetrack. Let's take a look, as it looks like Evan Stewart here maybe starting to make a pass here on this 7 run. This is going to give you a great look at it as down this run straightaway. It's only 2 wide. There's only really a car length in between them, so if you go 3 wide, things close up in a quick hurry. If you go 4 wide, it's dang near impossible to get through that tri-oval section, so you got to be very cautious of your surroundings where other drivers are in. Hope to try to either stay out of them or hope that they stay out of you, and a lot of times that's what we see. We see these guys not wanting to back down, not wanting to roll out of it. Sometimes it's better to just roll out of the throttle, let them have that position early in the race, and try to live for another day out there on the Speedway. Is out in front, Nick Biddy continuing to lead this race. Biddy at the front of the field doing a great job in that beautiful NBD machine out there on the Speedway as he continues to try to pull away here, but it's actually Clay Bellamy. Bellamy starting to close in on our race leader here. He did have about a 1.5 second lead. It's down to about 1.1 seconds between Bellamy and Biddy out there on the racetrack. So for Nick Biddy, he's quickly seeing that lead evaporate, and these drivers starting to hunt him down out there on the racetrack. Can he hang on to it, as we do have virtually about another 12 laps before we see that green and white checkered flag in stage number 1 coming to a close here in this one. So we'll have to wait and see how quickly these drivers can get down across the line. This is going to be a long race, chat. I'm just kind of looking at the timing here and everything else. This may be a bit of a longer race. This is going to be a wild one. We're in for a treat here. 200 laps here at this racetrack is no easy task, and when we see, so many caution flags already in this race and what could be to come, we could see a very long race here this evening, and a lot of action out there on the racetrack, and a lot of beating and banging, a lot of upset drivers, a lot of hurt feelings out there this afternoon as well. As Zachary Watson says, let's go Bogart, cheering on Bogart here this evening over there on YouTube, says, let's go Bogart out there on the racetrack. Because right now, Mr. Bogart, he's rolling a little farther back there. He's in about the 17th position in that Zin number 17 ride. So fitting for the 17th car to be in the 17th position as Jason Bogart rolls there in position number 17. He's got the 23 of Ryan Haller right there in front of him. He's looking to try to get around this Xfinity number 23 ride as he looks down to the inside. It's a great run down the back straightaway. Looks like he will jump up and steal position number 16 away from that 23 machine. He does have a little bit of an issue here as well for the 23 ride. We do see Ryan Haller now headed down pit road here. A little bit of damage there on the right front. Looks like he's gotten up into the outside fence here just ever so slightly and now headed down pit road. Now, this is a bold strategy, trying to come down before the end of the stage, as I'm not sure if that's going to work out for him or not, because honestly, he's going to probably go a lap down, but unless if everyone else has to make it down pit lane here, as here we go, Nick Biddy, our race leader, also down pit side. So Nick Biddy heads down pit road. Who else do we see head down pit side here this evening? As some of these guys will unfortunately go a lap down. Other drivers may try to stay out there or try to trap them a lap down out on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see how it kind of plays out here this evening as Clay Bellamy out in front. He's got the 11 of Jordan Brinkley right there behind him. Jordan Fisher now into third here as there it is. Caution flag on the racetrack. Caution flag out there on the speedway, and now that's a very tough spot as, oh man, let's take a look here and see what happens? What brings out this caution flag here as not too sure where this gets started, what happens here, or who gets collected in it. I think it's a little farther back here, potentially Joe David running into problems. There it is. Heavy damage on that G. Loomis machine as it looks like Joe David running into some problems. Potentially Trenton Johns also getting tied up in this one. It's just, once again, 3 wide here, down through these corners, and it looks like the 38 is going to get some contact right here into that 6 right, maybe even just a little neck code right there, and then he comes up the track into the 8 machine. Trent Johns gets turned around. They both get up into the outside fence there at a corner number 2. Let's see if we can take another look at it here and see this contact, as they were close, but I think it's more or less just a little iRacing neck code right here. As you see, the 38 has a gap down low, then all of a sudden as he's making that pass down to the inside, the rear end just kicks out and around on that 6 machine. He washes up the track, collects the 8 ride here, and nowhere for really either of these drivers to go, man. Definitely a tough spot, having great runs up there towards the front of the field, and unfortunately now being sent back into the rear of the field to having to use up some repairs early in this race. As here we go, caution flag coming out. Everyone's contemplating on whether or not they want to keep on racing or if they want to come down pit road. There's a lot of drivers that are electing to stay out and hoping to get some stage points, hoping to try to earn that extra little bit of points here for their cause here on the year. So we'll wait and see kind of who gets what points, who ends up where. As you do see Jordan Fisher, the driver who brought out our second, third caution flag of the day, now leading this race. So a great rebound here for that number 19 ride, as he's now our race leader. The 18 of Noah Blackwell, he's up into position number 2. So now the turntables have turned here this evening, as we do see Matthew Wood now into third with Applegate, Josh Kreider, Caden Gargiulo, Caleb Holloman, Logan Perriman, Keegan Huey, and Jason Bogart. Our top 10 now on the racetrack. Jaden Porter back there in 11th. Michael Potter Jr., Zach Plater, Zach Perry, Nick Biddy, Joe David, Clay Bellamy, Jordan Brinkley, Nick Jensen, and the 8-rider Trenton Johns rounding out our top 20 out there on the racetrack, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. We'll get ready to duke it out again here in this one, and this is going to be another good fun one, man. This is going to be interesting to see who's going to be able to kind of find their way up to the front of the field, who's going to be able to use some potential fresher tires to advance themselves and maybe steal some stage points here from some of these other drivers the end of this stage. Stage number 1 coming up here in a quick hurry. At the completion of lap number 50, we will see this stage come to a close. So as these drivers head down through corner number 1 and 2 here, waiting to see that pace car pull off the racetrack and waiting to go back to battle, waiting to go back to green flag racing. We'll see that green flag come out on lap number 47. So we'll have virtually, 4 laps to go. 4 laps left here in this first stage, so extra bonus points towards the playoffs, extra points to try to help you out in the official point standings for the regular season. Every single point counts, man. We see it in all of our different series. Everything else, we just saw it Saturday night. A couple drivers, they were tied and had to be a tiebreaker to get that position up. And then we also saw, a couple other drivers, 1 or 2 points back there behind them. So those single points throughout the season, they can add up and potentially put you into the winner's circle. So we'll have to wait and see kind of how this one plays out for these drivers as they want to earn as many points as possible here, maximize their day at the racetrack. As here we go, pace car off of the speedway. We're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing as the 19 ride of Jordan Fisher. Fisher out in front, sees the green flag fly, but a great restart there for Grant Applegate. Applegate with a great restart, staying right there to the outside of the 19 ride, trying to pull down even with him down through corner number 1 and out of corner number 2 as they'll battle down the back straightaway. It is a tight fight here in the front of the pack, and now using that little bit of an outside edge here in that 57 right. Applegate looking to jump back out in front of this field here this evening. So Applegate is going to take that race lead, and he will be out in front, showing these drivers that he's now the car that they need to try to knock off the top spot. For some of these other drivers and some of those wing arounds there, a couple of these caution flags really help these guys out, as we do see Caleb Sisk back onto the lead lap here this evening. He was one of those first drivers that got powered up and tied up in that first caution flag. Went a couple laps down, but has got those laps back and right back into the fight here this evening. We'll see if he can navigate his way to the front of the field. As here we go, tight battle at the front as Jordan Fisher takes that race lead back away. Applegate slides back now into third, potentially even farther back, as here comes Josh Kreider, Matthew Wood, the 18 rider, Noah Blackwell right there as well as 3 or 4 of our regular Saturday night drivers here. Matthew Wood, Applegate, Kreider, Blackwell, all right there rolling together and rolling to the front of the field. Now there's no love lost between these guys. Each and every one of them want to try to put themselves into victory lane here in this one, as Jordan Fisher, Matthew Wood, Grant Applegate all right there ready to go to battle here in the closing laps of stage number 1, as lap number 50 up onto the board. Our final lap of our first stage here this evening. Oh baby, almost a little contact there down in the back straightaway, and for a couple of those drivers potentially going to lose a little bit of track position as the 33 ride of Clay Bellamy slides back now into 8th. Noah Blackwell slides all the way back into 10th on the racetrack, but down and through corner number 4 and through the tri-oval, it is the 19 machine of Jordan Fisher who will pick up stage win number 1. So Fisher gets it done here in this one. Matthew Wood in second, Applegate there in third. Josh Kreider, Trenton Johns, Jordan Brinkley, Caden Gargiulo, Clay Bellamy, Logan Pyramid, and Noah Blackwell all earning stage points here in stage number 1, as our first stage of the day has come to a close, man. What a run, what a race, what a battle that was out there on the speedway. Some of these late races and some of these restarts, man, are just absolutely insane, absolutely wild, man. It's always fun to watch what these drivers can do and how they can navigate out there on the speedway and trying to keep up with adjustments to their race cars, keep themselves out of trouble, and just keep themselves pointing in the right direction. For Jordan Fisher, he already found quite a bit of trouble. He got turned around down into corner number 3, ended up hard into the outside fence, had a ton of damage on that number 19. Ryan was able to use his quick repair and jump right back into the fight here this afternoon, drove his way up to the front of the field, and now looking to just kind of keep that 19 ride right here at the front of the pack. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll be right back here in just a couple seconds as I'll get a quick break in, and then we'll get ready to go back to battle here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button.
Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger of flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, box flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the ground stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger of flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go, getting ready to go back. The green flag racing here this evening. It has been a different shape up here at the front of the field. Drivers staying out, not coming down pit road, not getting tires there at the end of that stage. And now all of a sudden we see Caleb Sisk, after getting tied up in that first caution flag, he's right back into the battle here this evening. As quickly back onto the down pedal, it's the 37 though of Evan Stewart. Stewart at the front of the field here. He leads the way here in this one. Evan Stewart leads us down the back straightaway. They battle 2 wide, 3 wide. They're beating and banging, hitting doors down into corner number 3 as the 11 and 06 of Sisk duking it out there on the racetrack. They're not giving each other an inch here this evening. Nick Jensen right there in the fight with Jordan Fisher back up inside the top 5. Fisher looking to continue to race his way up in towards the front of the field here, looking to try to get that race lead back away, hoping to try to pick up stage win number 2 here this evening as well. Matthew Wood right there in that 6th position with Joe David back into 7th now as Josh Kreider, Grant Applegate, the 32 rider, Nick Pitty, they're duking it out right here. This is a battle for 9th and 10th of the racetrack, and you see a couple of fast cats right there behind him is Trent Johns, Caden Gargiulo, Logan Perriman. All these drivers trying to edge their way in to victory lane here this evening, but trying to make it slowly to the front of the field, trying to battle and pass a lot of fast drivers around them here this evening is no easy task, as again these two making contact. Look out, slideways on the racetrack, up into the outside fence goes Caleb Sisk and this number 11 rider Jordan Brinkley. Man, they are not giving each other a break out here. This is the second time that we've seen this happen down the back straightaway. Let's see if we can get another angle at these two, as they are just absolutely dogfighting at their contact. and then they just kind of get tight together, and they just keep leaning on each other down the back straightaway. They shove each other almost down off the racetrack, and then there's the contact between the 11 and the 06, which puts Sick up and into the outside fence right there. Luckily enough, able to hang on to it, keep that car pointed the right direction, but he has fallen quite a bit back as they 11 rider Jordan Brinkley rolls up there in position number 2. Some absolutely amazing racing here this afternoon as these drivers continue to battle, continue to beat and bang and battle out there on the racetrack. Still 2 by 2 here early on, and the start of stage number 2 here this evening is Evan Stewart out in front. Evan having a great run here, and you do see that damage down to the 11 right. That beat and bang and that contact unfortunately put some damage there into that right front, potentially hindering his performance out there on the racetrack, and that's good news for Evan Stewart as Stewart trying to pull away from that 11 right as he's hanging on to position number 2 right now with Nick Jensen right there behind him. Matthew Wood now into 4th with Jordan Fisher there in 5th. Josh Kreider having a great run as Kreider rolls there in position number 6 on the racetrack as Joe David, Grant Applegate, Nick Biddy, and Caleb Sisk now back here in position number 10. Looks like he's actually going to lose that 10th position as there goes that Team Watson Racing Setups number 7 right of Caden Gargiulo as he'll jump up into the 10th spot as Sisk continues to slide backwards here. Now Sisk has older tires than a lot of these drivers, and unfortunately now some pretty solid damage on that 06 ride once again, and unfortunately as he continues to fall backwards, it's making things very, very tight up here around the front of the field and around the middle of this pack is everyone already battling 2 wide out here. We still non-stop 2 by 2 and a little 3 wide out there, and then you throw this slower 06 right into the mix. It kind of makes things that much more interesting, that much more tight and difficult for everyone to try to navigate their way around the racetrack. And man, there's some big moves being thrown. A lot of these drivers throwing some crazy moves out there on the speedway. Now we see a little contact right there. Look out, they're going to get stacked up here. Oh, Bandy, that 06 right almost got taken out again. Somehow or another, he's able to catch it, keep that car pointing in the right direction, and keep on rolling. This is the car to watch out there on the racetrack right now, as there's probably going to be chaos somewhere around this 06 right. He's been finding it all night long, and man, oh man, oh man, I don't know how this car isn't already done for, man. This car has gotten so many bumps and bruises and scrapes and busted up sheet metal on that car here early in this race that I don't know how it's still even got the wheels still on that thing, man. He's still rolling out there pretty strong. He's out in front, leading us here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is the 37 right of Evan Stewart. Stewart continues to lead the way with Jordan Brinkley right there in position number 2. Jensen in 3rd, and here comes that 19 right of Jordan Fisher once again as Fisher back up and in to position number 4 here on the racetrack after working himself back around the 16 of Matthew Wood. As Wood now trying to hold on and hold off the 32 and Nick Biddy, as Biddy trying to slide his way back up towards the front of the field as just non-stop racing action through this evening, man. This is going to be one heck of a show, and as the intensity builds, as we get closer and closer to the checkered flag here this evening, the moves are going to get even more treacherous. The bumps are going to get even more tougher out there on the racetrack, and for a lot of these drivers, man, some of them will not survive. Some of them will be able to continue on, and some of them, their nights may come to an early close, especially if we keep on tearing up cars like we did early in this race, as we do see Caleb Sisk. Sisk continues to fall farther backwards here. Sisk all the way back now into 22nd. Ethan Greek right there behind him in that 3 machine. You do see Keegan Huey, Zach Claytor a little farther back, and Wyatt Mickelson right here in this mix. Now, I do believe Mickelson is the first car 1 lap down out there on the racetrack, but the 39 right of Zach Claytor. So far, we haven't seen much out of Claytor here in this race. Normally a pretty fast competitor out there on the racetrack, usually battling pretty hard out there on the speedway, and unfortunately for the 39 ride, he sits back in 25th right now, and he's quite a ways already behind our race leaders and everybody else. 10 seconds, the gap between himself and this 37 of Evan Stewart, so I'm not sure what's amiss with that number 39, right, is Zach Claytor, or maybe he's just trying to play a little strategy. Maybe he tried to save an extra set of tires for later in this race. Maybe he didn't take a set there during that green flag pit stop, and now just kind of rolling at the back, hoping he stays on the lead lap, doesn't go a lap down, and able to jump right back into the battle here this evening. As, man, some absolutely wicked racing, some absolutely wild action here this evening as Evan Stewart continues to lead the way here in this one. Once Stewart kind of got that race lead, got that fresh air onto the nose of this number 37 ride. Man, he has been a man on a mission at the front of the field in that U.S. Army beautiful American flag paint scheme ride. Continues to show these drivers around the speedway, as right now he's got about a 2-second gap between himself and now Matthew Wood. Is Wood able to jump up into position number 2 as we saw another driver run into some issues here. Logan Perriman down through the grass here a little bit. Let's take a look back and see what happens as there's contact in front of him. And he kind of get checked up. It shoves him down the racetrack. And look at that car just hop, skip, and jump as the 7 ride of Caden Gargiulo here. Caden gets into the outside fence. That's what kind of stacks them all up right here. Let's take a look at this as things just going to get tight here for this 7 round. Let's see if we can get another look at Caden as now he's taking this car already down and off the racetrack as here we go, down and out of corner number 4. This is just outside the top 5 for Caden Gargiulo, and all of a sudden he's going to find the outside fence a little bit right there. Then he's going to get contact right there as contact between Nick Biddy and the 42 ride in. Gets up into the 7 machine, slams him up into that outside fence, and the car just will not turn, slams into the tri-oval marker right there. Unfortunately, more carnage, more damage for him. Still bouncing it off the wall, just trying to make sure he doesn't get ran over, hoping that no one else runs into him. Luckily enough, does get it down off the apron and keeps on rolling as we do see Grant Applegate. Applegate now up and into position number 2 here on the racetrack. So Grant Applegate now into second as Evan Stewart continues to lead the way. Stewart with a 2.2 second lead between himself and Grant Applegate here this evening. Matthew Wood there in third with the 11 ride of Jordan Brinkley now back into position number 4 as maybe a little contact right there between Brinkley and the 32 ride as Nick Biddy sliding around him, trying to find that way around the 11 ride. Just hasn't been able to clear him as of yet. And here comes the 19 ride of Jordan Brinkley as well. Brinkley right into the battle here. Now in that beautiful Hardy Designs 19 ride as he rolls down to the inside here of the 11 machine there. Door to door down across the line. This is a fight for that 5th position on the racetrack, and it looks like Jordan Fisher is going to take it, and unfortunately for Jordan Brinkley, going to slide back now into 6. As here comes Josh Kreider, here comes Logan Perriman, the pair of yellow cars there in 7th and 8th with Clay Bellamy there in 9th and Trent Johns. And this number 34 ride of Aiden Lucas, they're battling right here. Unfortunately for Aiden Lucas, Aiden is at least a couple laps down out there on the racetrack. And for the 34 ride, there's a few drivers now that are a lap down out there on the racetrack that are going to get the free passes, going to get the lucky dunks before he is. So he's got to try to play his cards right and hope to see either a bunch of caution flags or hope to see that he can try to get himself back out and onto the lead lap here this evening. Same with Jacob Hefner in that 95 ride as they're still both at least a couple laps down out there on the racetrack, and definitely not the spot you want to be. Caden Gargiulo, after coming down pit road there, after making contact with the outside fence, was able to use that quick repair, and he has gotten back into the battle here this evening as he jumps up and back onto the track. He's 1 lap down here, so he is not in position for the lucky dog, though, as Wyatt Mickelson is in that lucky dog position in this 51 machine. So if the caution flag were to come out or the stage was to end here, the number 51 would get that free pass. The lucky dog back onto the lead lap, and as these drivers continue to click the laps off, there is lap number 75 going to come to a completion down across the line. We are already a quarter of the way, or actually halfway through this second stage here this evening. Halfway through this second stage already, as we'll see the stage break again after 50 laps at lap 100 here this evening. So stage number 1 going into the history books for Jordan Fisher, picking up that first stage win. Who gets stage win number 2 is look out, contact! Oh, Nick Biddy down through the grass. Look at this car hop, skipping and jumping here. Luckily enough, he's trying to get checked up, hoping to not get ran over, and there's the 33 sliding into him. Oh, heavy hit right there for Clay Bellamy. No caution flag as of yet. Bellamy keeps that car rolling, keeps it pointing the right direction, but man, oh man, that was definitely not the way he had that one drawn up. stop as Nick Biddy goes off the track here. Battling hard here with Fisher for position number 4 on the racetrack, and unfortunately, looks like he's just going to get up a little bit too high. Ends up getting into the 19 right on corner exit. Is the 19 already into the fence? He can't go up any higher, and the 32 going to drive into him, get some contact there himself, and then watch this car just hop, skipping, and jumping through the infield here. Now, lucky enough, the car stays pointing in the right direction, but then here comes that 33 ride. Just really nothing he could do, man. He's just trying to roll around him, hoping to see this car stay down lower than him and keeping it rolling on the racetrack. Let's see if we can get a look here at the 33 ride. Here he is, right here. Okay, let's see if we can jump on board with this number 33 and see what he can see as he sees the car down through the infield, hoping to see him stay down low, and all of a sudden he rolls right back up in front of him, and he drives right into his rear end. Luckily enough, though, everyone else able to avoid him, everyone else able to avoid the spinning car right there. The car down through the infield as craziness again here this evening, man. More issues, more problems for some of these drivers. Some pretty big hits right there. And for Nick Biddy, it was kind of a saving grace for him, but does have that rear end damage. Doesn't look like it's affecting the car too much as he battles door to door here with Noah Blackwell now for position number 4 on the Speedway. Evan Stewart, though, out in front, continuing to lead the way. Evan now has a almost a 4-second lead between himself and Josh Kreider as we have seen some green flag pit stops starting to get underway. The 19 rider Jordan Fisher, the number 16 of Matthew Wood, both down pit road. Jordan Brinkley down pit side in the 11 ride. Applegate also has came down pit road here, so some more of these drivers making green flag pit stops we'll have to keep an eye on, as we did see Caleb Sick here. Unfortunately, it looks like he may have ran into some more issues. Let's take a look at the 06 as he's trying to get this ride rolling back out onto the racetrack after making a green flag pit stop, and sure where they, oh, there it is right there. Kind of gets through the bumps down there on the apron, gets that car kicked sideways, gets up into a little bit of the grass right there, did a little landscaping himself, gets that car pointed back in the right direction though, keeps it rolling. Luckily enough, no issues for him, and we don't see the caution flag flying, and that's always the best part, not seeing those yellow flags. Here we go, a few more drivers headed down pit road. Here comes that beautiful U.S. Air Force, the Xfinity ride of Ryan Holler down pit road. Here comes that heavily front end damaged ride of Clay Bellamy down pit side here as well, as man, some drivers running into problems, a lot of drivers running into problems. Other drivers just continue to run great laps out there on the speedways. We do see Trent Johns now with the race lead. Noah Blackwell, Nick Biddy, Zach Perry, our top 4. Caleb Holloman back in 5th, as we did see Joe David just head down pit road here in the 6th run. We did see our race leader, Evan Stewart, also come down pit road, make that green flag pit stop as well. And Stewart, he's a little farther back here in this race as right now. That 37 ride now rolls, I would say, probably in about, I'm going to say about the 5th position here once things kind of cycle through right now. He's behind Jordan Brinkley, behind Jordan Fisher and Matthew Wood, and unfortunately going from the race lead to all of a sudden being back behind these guys, but he's right in that battle with them, and he's ready to put up a fight, ready to battle, ready to try to duke it out, and maybe put himself back to the front of the field here, as some great racing all around, man. These guys are not backing down one little bit as Trent Johns continues to lead the way. Trent Johns out in front, Blackwell right there with him in position number 2. Nick Biddy, Zach Perry yet to come down pit road, and that's where you see that 37 of Evan Stewart right there trying to battle and trying to race his way back onto the lead lap. Now, luckily enough for him, he is the first driver 1 lap down out there on the racetrack, so if we were to see the caution flag fly or the stage come to an end right now without these drivers coming down pit road, that he would be in position for that lucky dog, but it may not be for long, as here comes a couple more drivers trying to join that fight here, trying to get in on the battle for that lucky dog position. Is the 57 of Grant Applegate right there on the back bumper here of the 37 Ryan, pushing him basically down through corner number 3 and back down across the start finish line as they're all trying to race their way back on the lead lap. Josh Kreider a little farther back behind him. Michael Durham Jr. just rolling back out down and on pit road. Logan Perriman there in 19th, as we do see Blackwell, Jaden Porter, Trent Johns all come down pit road here. So 3 more drivers making these pit stops, and you got to start thinking of that big question here. Can drivers make it this entire stage? That'd be a 48-lap run here. I'm not sure how much fuel these guys can get, but it seems like everyone kind of wanted to split that stage up there quite a bit. A lot of drivers coming down just after that halfway marker of this stage. So trying to make these pit stops, trying to break up this race and making sure they continuously have some good tires and some good lap times out there on the speedway. As you see Evan Stewart has raced his way back onto the lead lap as Zach Perry now back behind him here. Nick Biddy right there, as well as that 97 to Caleb Holloman, as here comes Biddy now down pit road. And for these drivers, I'm not sure if this strategy is going to play out nicely for them or not. Now they're going to have quite a bit better tires, but they gave up so much track position out there on the racetrack, and now with really only about 13 laps left to go here in this stage before we see that mandatory caution flag, for a lot of these drivers, it's not a whole lot of time to navigate and race your way back onto the lead lap or try to make some passes and get a solid stage point run. So we'll have to wait and see how this kind of all plays out, as here comes that 42 run. Here comes Nick Biddy back down and onto the racetrack, as both these guys going to fall outside the top 10 on the racetrack. As there goes Evan Stewart. Stewart now back up into 11th here with Jordan Brinkley up in front of him. Jordan Fisher there, as well as that 16 of Matthew Wood. Applegate technically in front of all of these guys, as Applegate would be our race leader. He is the first car that came down pit road. Not the first car, but the one of the first cars that came down pit side. And luckily enough, he's the first car in line that is already made that pit stop. All the drivers in front of him here are top 6 out there on the racetrack, yet to come down pit side, yet to make this secondary pit stop. And for Zach Perry, Caleb Holloman, Keegan Huey, Zach Claytor, Jason Bogart, and Michael Ponder Jr., they're looking to see if they can continue to stretch this fuel longer and longer and longer out there on the speedway. And if they can keep pace and keep the tires underneath of them and make it to the end of the stage, potentially not only kind of throw that Uno reverse car, but could go back out onto the racetrack after the stage break with the freshest tires. They'll lose that track position, but they'll earn the points for the good stage points here this evening, plus the better tires out there on the racetrack, and they could have an extra set back behind pit wall. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how everything kind of shapes up here in this race, as, man, we are inching closer and closer to that halfway marker here this evening. It's not too far away, ladies and gentlemen. It is right there and almost at the end of stage number 2 here this evening in the Eli 300 here this evening. Is the Eli 300, every one of these drivers just continuing to battle, continuing to duke it out here. Zach Perry out in front, continue to lead the way. It is Caleb Holloman, Keegan Huey, Zach Claytor, Jason Bogart. Our top 5 is that we do see Michael Ponder Jr. here in that Pennzoil Shell 22 ride down pit road here himself. So he's going to bite the bullet, head down pit road, and Applegate will slide up at least another spot. Same with most of these other drivers, as they will navigate themselves around that car, as we do see Grant Applegate, Matthew Wood, Jordan Fisher, Jordan Brinkley, and Evan Stewart, our top 10 out there on the racetrack. Caleb Sick, he's still rolling out there. Sisk out there on the speedway, rolls in 15th. It's going to be interesting to see if we can see Caleb Sisk and the number 11 of Jordan Brinkley get close together again here this evening. We'll have to wait and see kind of who's there, who's around them, and if they get into more issues and more contact and more damage for those two drivers. We saw them beating fenders pretty hard, and you see the damage on the 11 ride here this evening, as we do see Keegan Huey. Huey's going to take his ride down pit road here, and Keegan will get rolling back out onto the racetrack, and right now he's scored back in about the 10th position, but as he starts to get rolling here, there goes Josh Kreider. Kreider is going to go around him, and he will move up inside the top 10. Evan Stewart right there in 9th, as he's looking to try to catch up to some of these other drivers. Unfortunately, a big gap right here. He's got the better tires. He stayed on the racetrack a few laps longer than a lot of these other drivers in front of him. But that being said, he's got some big gaps to try to fill. He's got a lot of time to try to catch up to these guys to put himself into a good position here this evening, as we do see the caution flag fly. Oh, baby, we didn't even see that come up. The yellow flag has been displayed. So the caution flag coming out here in this one. Oh, brother. Okay, this is going to make things interesting. We're going to get a shootout here, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a shootout down to the end of stage number 2 here, and caution's precaution, so we'll have to keep an eye on it, as it looks like Jensen in the 42 ride going to run into some problems here. Let's take a look and see what happens to Nick Jensen, as he's rolling here, trying to figure out a way to hang with Wyatt Mickelson, and then down in through the tri-oval. Looks like the car starts blinking quite a bit right here, and he actually disappears off the racetrack for quite a little while, and then all of a sudden he's up into the outside fence. There's drivers around him. Him and Jaden Porter end up getting tied together, and look at the damage on that 42 machine after getting up into the outside wall right there. As that's the name of the game here. Sometimes the blinkingness and sometimes the issues out there on the racetrack can be your worst enemy here on the Speedway, and we'll take a look here at this that's an issue here for him. As look at the damage, the carnage is a little bit nice to see. Really what happened is, unfortunately for Jaden Porter, really nowhere for him to go here in this one. Let's see if we can jump on board with Jaden Porter, see what he can see from the cockpit of his ride. As the 74 ride kind of in line in behind him here, just trying to toe the line. You see him right there. A couple car lengths in between them as they head down into the second half of the tri-oval down into corner number 1. He just doesn't even see that car anymore. It's disappeared off the racetrack, and then all of a sudden, here it is right in front of them, and they're tied together in the outside fence as never even saw where that car is coming from, and gets some pretty solid damage there for himself, and that is definitely a heartbreaker there for Jaden. Not the damage you want to get with an issue like that out there on the Speedway. Now for the rest of these drivers, potentially a good break for them here, trying to earn some extra stage points where there were some drivers that could have potentially made it to the end here. They were having to come down for a green flag pit stop. They were bound to not get a great finish here for this stage, but now as we get them lined back up, it's Matthew Wood is our race leader. Matthew Wood out in front. It is the 19 of Jordan Fisher in position number 2. Jordan Brinkley back there in 3rd. Keegan Huey there in 4th. And then we see that 76 ride, the 1776 Motorsports machine. That is Zach Perry in position number 5. He's going to have that Jurassic World, the 97 of the Dr. Pepper machine, a Caleb Holloman there in 6. And then we see the 39 of Zach Claytor. Good to see Claytor up here again at the front of the field. He's got the 17 of Jason Bogart there, who's outside. Grant Applegate back here in position number 9, and the 37 Evan Stewart back there in 10th. As we did see pretty much everybody except for Matthew Wood, Jordan Fisher, and Jordan Brinkley. Our top 3 out there on the racetrack did not come down pit road there during that caution flag. There was a lot of other drivers a little deeper in the field that also stayed out here, like Caleb Sisk, who hasn't been down pit side since lap number 75. But all these guys are trying to get lined up here, hoping to try to get a good run here in this race, and just trying to keep their cars clean out there on the racetrack as well, trying to stay out of some of the carnage that may unfold here as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing, and the end of this stage is just around the corner, as I do believe the lights are going to turn off the official iRacing pace car, and we should get about a 2 or 3 lap shootout here to end stage number 2. So a couple laps to end the stage here this evening. Who's it gonna be? Will it be Matthew Wood? Will it be that 19 here this evening to try to pick up that stage win? He's looking for stage win number 2 on the night for the 19 ride. He was able to win that first stage here this evening, and now looking to try to win stage number 2, or in those extra points here this evening, and help him in his hunt for the playoffs here this year. As we'll get them all loaded up and ready to rumble, ready to go to battle here once again is my boy Craig Michael Deacon. What's good, Craig? Or Craig coming in with that like on the stream. How are you, Craig? How you doing this afternoon? As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor, man. Hit that mother fluffing like button on the stream right now. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. Turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming, and that way you never miss the racing action here on the channel. As Matthew Wood and the number 39 of Fisher. Wood and Fisher door to door is out at corner number 4. The pace car will head back down pit road and will unleash this field back into the hands of that Racers for Christ number 16 of Matthew Wood, as he is the control car here on the restart, and nice and easy into the Geico restart zone. He is gonna let loose and try to keep all these cats back there behind him. It's a great restart there for Matthew Wood. Matthew quickly trying to pull away, and that's going to bring Jordan Brinkley right there with him. Brinkley down low, looking at already trying to slide up in front of the 19 ride. The 19 trying to decipher whether or not he wants to fall in line or if he wants to try to make some moves on the back straightaway. Unfortunately, did not get the run he was hoping for there, and he will fall right in behind Jordan Brinkley for position number 2 is Zach Perry. He's there in fourth, and looks like he may have some fresh tires out there, looking to just try to drive right on around a lot of these other drivers. Zach Clinker right there as well, and contact back there behind him. Caleb Holloman goes around. Caution flag on the racetrack. Caution flag back out on the speedway as he slides back up onto the racing surface. Few other drivers getting a little damage right there, but Holloman gonna get turned around right here. Looks like contact between him and the 57 machine as tough break here for Grant Applegate. Applegate just trying to figure out a way to get around him right here, and all of a sudden they're just going to make contact right here through the tri-oval, and down around the nose goes the 37 off the 57, and then as he's sliding back up here, everyone just trying to figure out a way to get around him without making heavy contact. I do believe that was Aiden Lucas right here. Let's take a look at Aiden, as I do believe Aiden trying to figure out a way to get around him. Actually, I don't think it was Aiden. Who was that car? It was a American flag car. Was it Nick Jensen potentially here? Yeah, Nick Jensen. Oh, man, makes a big move to avoid him right there, and unfortunately gets up into the outside fence again, ends up pancaking that outside wall. Is he's going to, once again, get a good look at this issue. Trying to avoid it, doesn't really see where that car is, and all of a sudden he's right there, and as he slides up the track to avoid the 97 right, ends up getting a pretty big piece of that outside fence, and unfortunately maybe a little damage there to that 97, a little damage there to the couple cars back behind him, and luckily enough everyone's going to have an opportunity to head down pit road and get some repairs, try to get some fuel, some tires, or anything else that they may need here this evening, and that's going to mix up this field once again. There's a lot of cats that are coming down pit road, a lot of other drivers that are staying out after already making that green flag pit stop, or yellow flag pit stop there during the last caution flag. And here we go, halfway in and halfway through this race, so the stage is officially complete here this evening, and Matthew Wood able to win that stage here this evening. So stage number 2 going to Mr. Wood here. Brought to you by that caution flag right there. I don't know if he was going to get it with one of those fast cats hunting him down in a quick hurry out there on the speedway. For certain thought that they were going to catch him and pass him here in the closing laps of that stage and steal that stage win away from that yellow flag. Really saved his bacon and kept him at the front of the field, and now it's an opportunity to pull the Uno reverse card and do the exact same thing, and have the time to do it out there on the racetrack as we get ready for our final stage here. 100 laps of racing action, just under 100 laps of racing action left to go here this evening, and for these drivers, that's a lot of laps. That's a lot of laps. There's a lot of green flag laps. It's a lot of opportunities for a bunch of big caution flags, a lot of tore up race cars out there on the racetrack. So you really want to mind your P's and Q's. Keep yourself out of trouble, keep your car pointed in the right direction, and just hope to try to keep the fenders on it. Stay out of other people's garbage out there on the racetrack, and a lot of times it's easier said than done, but that's all you can hope for here, and hopefully just have a car late in this race and being able to be in the right spot to potentially just get a good run, a solid performance out there on the racetrack, try to earn points or anything else. Here we go, we're going to see some of our lap down drivers and a few others headed down pit side here. There's Noah Blackwell, Caden Gargiulo. Both these guys are going to head down pit road here. We said Jaden Porter's back down pit road. We see Ethan Greek and Wyatt Mickelson back down pit lane. You do see the 99 of Logan Perriman. Perriman's down pit side here, as well as hard to judge here now who's a lap down, who's on the lead lap. There's so many things going on out there on the speedway. I'm not sure who's getting the lucky dogs and getting back in on the action or not here. But for the most part, it does look like we still got a good group of drivers that are on the lead lap out there on the speedway. I do believe Gargiulo, Clay Bellamy, I believe they are all on same page here, all lap down. Same with Caden Gargiulo, Jaden Porter. I do believe he is still just running the plain paint scheme from a couple seasons ago. Blackwell, he's always got those fresh paint schemes. Michael Bonner Jr. as well. And all these guys, man, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how this all plays out, as everyone's going to be on different strategy, a lot of different tires, a lot of different fuel out there on the racetrack. And for a lot of these cats, trying to get their rides, their beautiful looking cars to the front of the field, and trying to figure out how to pick up a big win here. And for other drivers that are still lapped down, they're hoping to see some more carnage, some more caution flags, and hoping to try to get themselves back onto the lead lap, as I do believe Blackwell is going to be the last driver on the lead lap here this evening. Michael Ponder Jr. now scored as the first driver a lap or multiple laps down out there on the racetrack. Ethan Greek back in 2013. Lucas, Jacob Hefner, all multiple laps down. Same with Wyatt Mickelson in that 51 ride. As here we go, back to green flag racing. Our final stage of the day is upon us as the 76 of Zach Perry leads us nice and easy down one and out of two down the back straightaway. Here at Charlotte Motor Speedways, everyone's sprinting out down the back straightaway, looking for the runs, looking to try to gain a few positions down in through quarter number 3 and out of 4. Is Evan Stewart right there in tow. Grant Applegate there as well as the 97 of Caleb Holloman as it's the 76, the 37, the 57, the 97, and the 17 ride all up inside the top 5 on the racetrack. And that's a crazy one. The 37, 57, 97, and 17 running second, third, fourth, and fifth on the racetrack right now. That is absolutely wild. And the 76 is Zach Perry leading them all here in this one. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are just over halfway in and halfway to go here this evening. Just a little over 26 laps left here in this race, and we're going to get ready to jump into a Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up, so crank up that volume. Cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up here this evening. A beautiful crank it up out there on the racetrack. These drivers giving us the sights and sounds around Charlotte Motor Speedway. Is out in front, you see him right there. It's the 37 of Evan Stewart. Stewart continuing to lead this race as he continues to show these drivers the way around the racetrack. He has Matthew Wood back there behind him. Wood about a second and a half back from the back bumper of our race leader. Then we see Zach Perry there in third. Caleb Sisk now up and into position number 4 and looking for more out there on the racetrack. Clay Bellamy right there as well as we watch this gaggle of cars continue to battle for multiple laps out there on the racetrack. It's a mix of drivers on the lead lap, drivers a lap or multiple laps down, still out there on the racetrack, continue to just duke it out here this evening, man. They were bumping and beating and banging like crazy. All that crank it up, man. They were putting on a hell of a show for us up here in the grandstands, watching all these guys continue to fight out there on the speedway, and I don't think they're done yet. I think we're going to continue to see these guys duke it out and continue to battle each and every single lap here this evening as we inch closer and closer to that checkered flag. Still a lot of time away, still a lot of time to either rebound or try to make up for some earlier mistakes and hoping to try to drive yourself up and into a solid finish as we do see Matthew Wood head down pit side. And slowly but surely we're starting to see drivers head down pit road here for green flag pit stops. Some coming down a little bit earlier than others, and others coming down a little bit later here as they continue to roll out there on the racetrack. As we did see a few guys come down a little bit earlier. We saw Nick Biddy down pit road on lap 130. We saw, Applegate, he was down pit side there on lap 131. Jordan Brinkley, 132, came down pit side. So didn't really lose too much time here. I thought Applegate was in front of Jordan Brinkley before making that green flag pit stop, and he had the fresher tires there for at least a lap here this evening. As 924 says, Blackwell, when I joined, was 17th or 18th, and he is now 5th. I think this was 20 minutes ago. Yeah, well, it's green flag pit stops right now. So a lot of drivers have been headed down pit road. A lot of drivers have been going down pit side as we do see our race leader, Evan Stewart. He's down pit side now. He's making his green flag pit stop. Zach Perry, Caleb Sisk, Clay Bellamy, and then we see Noah Blackwell now heading down pit side here himself. Caden Gargiulo, Jaden Porter also down pit road. Seen with the 99 ride there of, actually that was the 00. Michael Durham Jr. down pit road. We did see Logan Perriman down pit side there as he ended up going a little too far there in his pit stall. Had to throw it in reverse, back it up, gets that car pointed back in the right direction, keeps on rolling out there on the speedway as he's getting that pit stop done. He'll join the field once again, is out in front. Now our new race leader once again here this evening. It's this 19 rider, Jordan Fisher. Fisher staying out there a little bit longer than everybody else here. Him and Zach Glazer, Joe David, Keegan Huey, and Ryan Haller yet to come down pit road for their, green flag pit stops here. They were last down pit side around lap number 100 here. They're staying out a little bit longer, so we'll have to wait and see how this strategy kind of works out for them. As you do see Haller, he's quite a bit slower than a lot of these other drivers. You just saw that 17 right blow his doors off right there. That is Jason Bogart. Bogart all the way back in 20th, able to just drive right around him there with the fresher tires in that number 17 machine. So the fresh tire is going to make a huge difference for a lot of these cats out there on the racetrack, because we do see Haller head down pit road now here himself, so he'll head down pit side, and it looks like Grant Applegate potentially going to be the race leader if this thing cycles through. We'll have to wait and see where everyone kind of gets lined up. Matthew Wood, he rolls there in 6th. Jordan Brinkley back in 7th. Nick Biddy would be there in 8th with Evan Stewart, who was our race leader there before these green flag pit stops got underway. And for the 37 ride, came down pit road quite a few laps later than a lot of these other drivers, and unfortunately that extra time out there on the racetrack, rolling with the older tires, the slower lap times, ends up getting leapfrogged here by a bunch of these drivers, but has the better tires now and looking to try to make quick work of some of these drivers as he looks to roll around. Nick Biddy and Jordan Brinkley is there door to door right in front of them. Matthew Wood not too far away, same with Applegate right there as well in that Red Bull number 57 ride. So we'll see if Evan Stewart can race his way back up towards the front of the field, as we do see this 06 of Caleb Sisk and now into position number 8 here is Sisk. Oh, Sisk is gonna tee up the number 11 ride right here. We kind of saw this one coming for a long time here after their heavy battles, their hard-fought fights out there on the racetrack for multiple laps, and you just knew it was coming at some point in time. We tried to watch it there during the crank it ups as we see the 23 Orion Hauler. I'm not sure what happens here. Hauler's down low. Trying to get this car rolling here, and I'm not sure if something happens to it or what, but the car just all of a sudden coming back onto the throttle, shoots up the racetrack, goes right into that left rear quarter panel of that number 11 ride. Heavy damage there for Jordan Brinkley, and then as he's in the fence, we're going to see Caleb Sisk. Sisk has been, I think, chasing this guy down for multiple laps. He's been wanting to kind of kill this number 11 ride for a while here, and I'm not saying it's intentional, but I feel like he had a lot of time to avoid running into the back end here of this 11 ride as he sees the 23, gets up out of the way, then just kind of lines him up, tees him off right there. Heavy damage, probably night-ending damage there for Caleb, and potentially night-ending damage there as well for that hard hit there as well for the number 11 machine, as well as Brinkley, I do believe, still down pit road. Let's take a look here. Look at that 11 ride trying to roll out there on the racetrack. Oh gosh, this thing is absolutely busted. There's not much this car is going to go, man. This thing is absolutely dosed. He's just trying to creep it back down pit road as the entire sway bar links, the rear toe links, everything in this car is bent out of shape, and he's just trying to get this thing back down pit road. Let's see if he can get back out there onto the racetrack, or how this may affect his race here this evening. He was having a solid run. He was having a solid race, and technically up inside towards the top 5 here, and all of a sudden, yeah, he's not going to come down pit road. He's going to try to navigate this out there on the racetrack, and I don't think that's going to work out too well for him. As we go back to the live screen here, I believe this car is still heavily busted. Still, this crawl in the toe length completely busted. It's not straight, brother. It's not straight. I don't even think the car's straight. I don't think it's the toe length. I think the car's just bent in half after that heavy hit, and he's already at least a lap down out there on the racetrack. Is Jordan Fisher, our race leader. Love to see that. He ends up now as our race leader here and has a sizable lead over everybody else here, as they got some fresh tires. All these other drivers that were down pit road had made those green flag pit stops here, now kind of on different pit strategies, and everyone else. You did see the 39 right of Claytor right there. Claytor ended up getting a little damage out of that issue, as well as he got a piece of that 11 right of Brinkley as well. Matthew Wood, Applegate, they were able to come down pit road there, as they were the only 4 drivers still on the lead lap here for that caution flag. Nick Biddy as well able to stay out. He's able to get back on the lead lap, and we see all these other drivers getting the wave around. So Evan Stewart back on the lead lap. Same with Zach Perry, Josh Kreider, Clay Bellamy, Noah Blackwell, Caleb Holloman, Joe David, Caden Gargiulo, Jason Bogart, Jaden Porter, Michael Durham Jr., Trent Johns, all taking the wave arounds here, getting back onto the lead lap. Unfortunately, looks like Keegan Huey is still going to be a lap down. Same with Ethan Greek, Michael Ponder Jr., Ryan Hauler, Jordan Brinkley back there. Not sure if this car is pointed back in the right direction. Is it going straight still? Looks like he's gotten that car repaired again, and not sure if it's straight or not. It looks like it's running straight now, so looks like he's gotten that car repaired, and will keep on battling here this evening. Unfortunately, does find himself at least a lap or multiple laps down here tonight, as we'll get him ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle here in this one. As here we go, green flag about to come back out for Jordan Fisher, as Fisher leading the way here in this one. Jordan Fisher out in front. Zach Claytor there in second. Matthew Wood back in third, with Applegate right there as well. As here we go, back to green flag racing. Everyone else lined up back there behind our top 6 as lap down cars, and everyone else still in front of the drivers that just took the wave arounds. And we take a look back at our 6th place driver here, that number 37 of Evan Stewart. Stewart back here in 6th. He's got quite a few drivers here between himself and our race leaders here, so he's going going to have to try to make quick work of him, trying to race his way up there and back into the battle here this evening. As here we go. Back to fighting, back to action. Here in this one is Jordan Fisher out in front, leading the way. Matthew Wood right there with them as Fisher trying to hang on to it, trying to keep this car at the front of the field, looking for a big win, and Matthew Wood looking for another win here in the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League. And what a win it would be here in this one in the Eli 300 here this evening. As Fisher and Wood 1 and 2, see Applegate back there in third. He's battling and trying to hold off that 39 by the Navy machine of Zach Claytor as Claytor rolls in fourth. And that 8 ride right there, unfortunate break there for Trent Johns, as Trent is currently a lap down out there on the racetrack. He's in that free pass position, trying to keep Keegan Huey back there at base if he can keep that 38 ride behind him, who's now got a little bit of damage after taking the outside fence. He is in a position to get the free pass the Lucky Dog and back into the battle here this evening. Evan Stewart, though, he's right there in that 37. He's back in 6th with Clay Bellamy back in 7th. Zach Perry, Josh Kreider, and Noah Blackwell rounding out our top 10 out there on the racetrack. Is there still a ton of drivers out here continuing to duke it out, continuing to battle? There's drivers that are on the lead lap, drivers that are multiple laps down. They're kind of all mixed together out there, and it just makes the racing action that much more exciting here as everyone just trying to figure out their way to the front of the field. Is Jordan Fisher continuing to lead this race, but there is a gang of cars right there behind him trying to hunt him down, trying to knock him out of the top spot here this evening. From Charlotte Motor Speedways, now you see Matthew Wood back it off the outside fence. Heavy hit right there for Matthews. He got up into the fence, pancaked it there, and now we see the couple other cars back there behind him get a piece of the wall as well, as these drivers are definitely not scared to use these fenders up out there on the racetrack as we edge closer and closer to the checkered flag here this evening as we roll up towards 150 laps complete here this evening. Still 50 laps of racing action left in this race. There is still a lot of time, a ton of time. If you have problems, if you run into some issues, you can bounce back. You can still use a little strategy out there, especially because we will still see at least one more green flag pit stop here for all these drivers, and some of them are going to be coming down pit road a lot sooner than others, and potentially going to see a ton of drivers head down pit road right now as we do get the caution flag back out onto the racetrack. And that is a great break for Trent Johns as he's going to get the Lucky Dog, the wave around, back onto the lead lap. As we take a look, you already see that 3 ride a little sideways right there as contact off of the number 6. Joe David going to get in there, get a piece of him, and turns him sideways up into the outside fence. Nowhere to go for Michael Ponder Jr. and Ryan Haller, who ends up getting a big piece of that number 22 ride as well, man. Heavy damage there, heavy hit for a couple of these drivers as just trying to battle, trying to race their way here, and some lap traffic trying to battle for the Lucky Dog here this evening, and a little fresher tires there. Joe David just comes with a big head of steam, gets in there a little too far, gets into that left rear quarter panel, knocks him loose. Pretty good damage there for the 6 ride, and then the 22 just nowhere to go. Michael Ponder Jr. just has him parked right on his nose. They get up into the outside fence. Heavy damage for both of them, and then slowly but surely you see this 23 Ryan Haller. He's trying to get down low, trying to avoid him, ends up slamming sideways right into the passenger side door of that 22 ride, and heavy damage for all 3 of these cats, man. That is a heavy hit there for Ryan Haller, and again, another spot for Haller, just nowhere to go. Unfortunately, get tore up in someone else's issues out there on the racetrack. So we'll get them ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here once again. We do see Zach Perry did come down pit road, seeing with Michael Durham Jr., Caleb Holloman, Josh Kreider, Jason Bogart down pit side, Caden Gargiulo also making that green flag pit stop in the Team Watson Racing Setups number 7 ride. So few extra drivers making that extra pit stop here on lap number 150 as 150 laps are complete here this evening. Next time by the start finish line, 151 laps done and 49 laps left to go here in this one, as we'll be right back in just a couple of moments.
Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger of flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, box flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the crowd stay crazy. On the asphalt, danger of flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go, getting ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. Jordan Fisher out in front, gonna get a great restart out of that number 19 ride, quickly opening up a bit of a lead down into corner number 1 as he looks to hold off Matthew Wood, Zach Glader, Nick Biddy, and the rest of the field here this evening as the action continues to stay packed here on Peacemaker Gaming. Look at these drivers down the back straightaway, still door to door, and a big run here for Matthew Wood. Wood shoots it down low, slides up in front of the 19. Here comes the crossover. Out of Jordan Fisher is back down across the line there, door to door, and Fisher will keep that race lead. So Jordan Fisher still out in front, still holding these guys off, but I'm not sure for how long he can hang on. Here at the front of the field is there down the back straightaway, the 16 ride able to put some muscle into it and pull that 16 right to the front of the field as he looks for another checkered flag here on the season. As we do see Jordan Fisher right there hanging with them, Zach Glader and Nick Biddy door to door back here for position number 3. Applegate, the 33 of Clay Bellamy, and the 18 of Noah Blackwell. 3 wide right here as here comes Evan Stewart up on the high side. Stewart sends it in there, and they're 3 wide back here just outside our top 5. It looks like things are going to get a little bit more double file for a second or two down the back straightaway, but man, look at how tight these guys are, and they are not scared to use the bumpers as the 18 ride all over the back end of that 33, trying to navigate his way up towards the top 5. Each and every one of them not backing down, not giving up an inch out there. We are going to see that caution flag come back out as Jason Bogart going to run into some issues. The Zin machine turned around in for Bogart. That will bring the caution flag back out. We saw a few other drivers go down and off the racetrack trying to avoid this 17 ride. But let's take a look and see how this got started as 3 wide racing, and then he just comes up the track, unfortunately bounces off the 17 ride, and him and the 95 get tied together. Unfortunate race here all evening long for Hefner here, as Hefner's gotten quite a bit of damage here, a lot of contact early in the race, and unfortunately has just not been able to rebound from going a couple laps down here, and more issues here for him as here comes that 17 back up and around him there. Heavy front left damage, heavy damage into the outside fence for him and Bogart, and more contact there as they run into each other again, and then everyone else just trying to dive down low, trying to avoid him. You see everyone kind of jumping down into the grass here, trying to make sure they don't put their cars into any of that mess there down the front straightaway as the caution flag comes back out, and another restart on the horizon with a new race leader as the control car here on the restart. It's Matthew Wood, who's now our race leader here this evening. Jordan Fisher there in second with Nick Biddy up and into third. Zach Glader, Grant Applegate, our top 5 here this evening as we'll get ready to see him come down pit road here. Everyone headed down pit side except for Jordan Brinkley. Looks like Brinkley gonna stay out here. A few of these other drivers that were a lap down down, looking for the lucky dogs or the free passes, trying to get back onto the lead lap. As we see Keegan Huey, he's going to stay out here. He's looking for that wave around. Same with Ethan Greek, Jordan Brinkley, Logan Perriman. They're all staying out here. They do not want to come down pit side. They want to get these wave arounds, try to work themselves back at least another lap closer to being back on the lead lap here this evening. But for some of them, they're going to be trapped back there as Zach Perry going to stay out here. So Perry stays out, Caden Gargiulo stays out, Caleb Holloman, Michael Durham Jr., they all stay out here on the racetrack. They were down pit road on lap 150. It is now lap 157. We only saw a few laps of green flag racing as Applegate will come back out onto the racetrack here after his pit stop. He'll be in the 5th position. Jordan Fisher will be behind him in position number 6. Matthew Wood now back into 7th with Joe David. Zach Later and Clay Bellamy are top 10 here for the restart, getting ready to go back to battle here in this one. As and I don't think we're done with the caution flags yet. I think we're still going to see quite a few more yellows here this evening as Haynes Kemp says, wasn't my night. I don't know what happened when I was leaving pit road. My car just hit a bump and straight into the traffic track in front of everybody. I feel horrible about it. It happens, brother. It happens. Sometimes it's just iRacing doing iRacing things, and those bumps here on the racetrack are very, very treacherous down there on the apron, so it definitely happens. We've seen it before. We'll probably see it multiple times again in the future. As Haynes Kemp says, since the first stage, I was stuck a lap down because I pitted on green and then the caution came out. Yeah, that's tough, man. That's always tough when you make that decision to come down pit road during green flag pit stops. That's always the risk you take. You know, you just never know when that caution flag will fly and when you'll go a lap down and when it will, unfortunately, put you into a tough position out there on the racetrack. It obviously happened to you all night long, and for a lot of these drivers, I feel like they're feeling the exact same way. They know that they've been kind of in a tough spot here all evening, and we started with 29 drivers. We already have 4 cats done and off of the racetrack. We still see Jason Bogart down pit road, same with the 95 ride here of Jacob Hefner, so potentially even down a couple more drivers here as they've been dropping like flies, and they continue to keep on battling, though. They have not slowed down. They have not given up one single inch out there on the speedway, and we continue to keep on battling here in this one as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here with just about 159 laps left to go in this race. So 159 laps left to battle here in this one. Still a lot of time out there on the racetrack, man. 40 laps seems to be a long time, is really what we've ran virtually. I'm going to say, what is that? We're at 159, basically 160 laps into this race. So we've ran 4/5 of this race, 80% of the way done this race. There's still 20% of the way to go. It's that's half an hour of racing action still ahead of us here if things kind of line up and things kind of roll out as we're about to hit the 2-hour marker into the broadcast. So a little later here in this one, man. These guys have been going through it, and this has been a long race. I don't know what it is, if it's Charlotte or what possibly makes this track just seem like it runs so long, but definitely seems like the laps are, taking a while to click down here this evening, and I'm sure a lot of these drivers are feeling the exact same way. They know it's been taking a while. They know that they've been battling here for multiple laps, and it's going to be hard to try to keep themselves, in the fight and in this battle, and trying to keep themselves in a good spot. As you do see the 7 ride quickly working to the outside. It's Caden Gargiulo. Gargiulo looking to try to take the race lead away from Zach Perry. And Zach Perry and Caden Gargiulo door-to-door for the top spot out there on the racetrack. Caleb Holloman poking his nose right into that battle as the Dr. Pepper Black Cherry, the beautiful Jurassic World machine, rolls there in the 3rd position. Michael Durham Jr., great to see him battling back into this race as Michael, he was all the way back there for a while, a couple laps down. He's been able to get some laps back, and here he is up inside the top 5 pin for Michael Durham Jr. in a race that is, sponsored by him, that is powered by this Durham ride here. As this race, you can see the name at the top of the scoreboard there, the Eli 300 here. Eli was the son of Michael Durham Jr. Durham wanted to put this on a memorial race for his son, and I'm sure his son would love to see his dad running here, battling at the front of the field up into that third position as he works himself around Caleb Holloman. Holloman back there in position number 4 now, and now Durham Jr., he's looking to try to join this fight here at the front of the field as he sees Zach Perry and Caden Gargiulo continue to battle door to door out there on the Speedway, and for this 0-0 ride to go out there with his son riding with him here this evening to pick up this checkered flag, what that would mean to him and the entire Durham family, man, would be absolutely insane, and it'd be such a beautiful moment, and we're hoping and pulling for it here this evening as Applegate right there behind these guys. You'll see that 33 of Clay Bellamy, the 19 rider Jordan Fisher. Fisher's been strong all evening long. We've seen some good speed out of Noah Blackwell as well, and we've seen Evan Stewart have a very fast hot rod in this U.S. Army AG's Designs number 37 ride, so we'll have to wait and see if Evan can navigate his way back to the front here, and if he can make the right calls and right moves. He's probably got the speed to win this race in that 37 ride. We saw before be able to pull out, pass a lot of these guys, get the race lead away from them after starting and restarting back in about that 5th, 6th position. After about 10-15 laps, really seems like this car comes to life. He can make those moves and just race his way up there and then pull away from the rest of the field. He's done it a few times here tonight. I'm sure he'd love to try to do it one more time here late in this race, as right now Caden Gargiulo and Zach Perry continue to battle door to door for this race lead. Neither driver giving an inch out there on the Speedway. They know that this could be potentially the fight for the race win here this evening, and neither driver going to back down from it as they continue to battle door to door. It's the Team Watson number 7 ride of Caden Gargiulo on the outside. The Busch Light 1776 Motorsports number 76 of Zach Perry down to the inside. Michael Durham Jr., Clay Bellamy, Caleb Holloman, all these drivers trying to jump up here and join this fight. At the front of the field is the 33 of Clay Bellamy, really starting to find that extra gear and bringing this Majulase Speed Shop Team CFM Esports number 33 ride up and into this battle. As here we go, Michael Durham Jr. down low, able to get inside of that 7 ride of Caden Gargiulo. Looks like Gargiulo getting a little tight now. He'll wash up the racetrack, and now he's going to get a little piece of the fence right there as the 0-0 of Durham Jr. slid up in front of him as he's looking to go after our race leader, but he's got a lot of fast cats going quickly back there behind him, including Noah Blackwell's Blackwell battling door to door now with Jordan Fisher. This is a battle for that 6th position. Both drivers trying to race their way back inside the top 5 out there on the racetrack, and you see Durham Jr. trying to roll the outside lane a little bit more here, trying to find a little extra gear, but that 33 able to just rotate down against that yellow line, and he's going to open up that inside lane for himself, and here he is quickly trying to slide around this 0-0. Now they're going to make a little contact, again. Look out! Durham not going to be happy about that one. Drivers is battling hard here, but gave him lots of room and then ran over, and now we see some big blocks as Bellamy down low with the fresh tires. He's now into the 77 ride. Oh my gosh, they're hitting everything out there on the racetrack, and now here we go. Maybe a little contact there as Durham almost gets into his back bumper, and they're wrecking back behind him. They're wrecking here again as Caleb Holloman turned around, tore up, and caution flag back in on the racetrack. Unfortunately for the Drastic Shark ride, things did not go his way as he tries to throw a big block here on the 18 ride of Noah Blackwell. Blackwell taking a big run down to the inside. You're going to see the 97 just jump down in front of him. Blackwell continues to try to keep going down low, and unfortunately for the 97, you can't push him any farther. He's still going to try to make that corner, and unfortunately they just run out of room. They run out of time as man, Blackwell, this has happened quite a few times. You see almost the exact same thing happen between our race leaders as Zach Perry trying to hold off that 33 ride, but look at the 18 ride, already has the 2 left-hand tires down below the blue line right there, and the 37 still sticks his nose right, or his tail right in front of him, and unfortunately just does not work out as there is contact there between Zach Perry and that 33 as the 97 goes around everyone trying to avoid him here. You just see that 16 ride of Matthew Wood able to avoid him there. Everyone else trying to get down and around out there on the racetrack, trying to keep themselves out of it, and for the most part looks like everyone able to avoid him as looks like he's going to be the only one to really get some heavy damage right there. But let's take a look. At the same time that this was happening, that battle at the front of the field, man, was continuing to range on, and we end up seeing some pretty solid contact there between our race leaders. So let's take a look back and see the contact here as the 33 gets a big run, and now let's go all the way back here. So contact here as we watch this 33 ride. of Clay Bellamy here. Bellamy's trying to race his way through this. He's trying to race his way into the front of the field. He's got fresher tires. He's got a fast car. Ends up making contact right there, not once, but twice with that 0-0 ride in. Definitely gave him lots of room there, and then he gets this big run down through corner number 1 and 2. Gets down to the inside. The 76 not really blocking him, but not giving him a whole lot of room down there, and then he's just going to end up driving up into the side of the 76 ride. He's still got room down low here, and still ends up getting a big piece of him. Let's see if we get another angle at this one as both drivers tight together, and obviously the 76 going to try to pinch him down there, trying to keep that left front kind of on the yellow line or white line right here, and see the 33 kind of come up right there. The 76 kind of goes up more than the 33. I don't know if he gets loose or just trying to get a different angle into the corner, ends up getting into that 76 ride, and as they're making contact, Michael Durham Jr., I think he sees it, and I think he sees an opportunity to maybe get a shot back into that 33 ride as here he comes in up the racetrack, tries to get to the back bumper here, ends up giving him a shot right here. Told you he was not pleased about the contact there down into corner number 1, and he got a piece of him, gave him a little shot. They both scrubbed the outside fence. Doesn't look like either heavy damage for either driver, but frustration's definitely starting to boil over here this evening, and drivers, this is a long race, a lot of caution flags, a lot of beating and banging and battling, and I'm sure each and every one of these drivers, the emotions are running high here this evening, and their threshold in their attitude, man, it's definitely right on the line, man. These guys are gonna be brawling here down in the infield post-race, I can tell you that much. There's not gonna be a lot of very happy campers about how this one kind of played out, except for probably whoever puts their car up into victory lane. The driver that gets the win, you'll probably think it was a lot of fun. It was probably a great race out there, and he really liked it, really had a good time, but everyone else back there behind him probably gonna be a little bit more sour after this race, as we'll wait and see who finds themselves up and into victory lane, as we got about 28 laps left to go in this race. Still a lot of time, still a lot of laps, still a lot of opportunities for drivers to try to navigate their way here to the front of the field here this evening, so we'll have to wait and see. Someone from a little deeper in the back can find their way back up to the front here as we look at that 37 right on the outside of that second row. That's Evan Stewart. We've seen Stewart lead a lot of laps here this evening. A very fast car in that 37 right. Let's see if he can find his way back to the front. We saw Jordan Fisher pick up stage win number 1 on the evening. He's shown a lot of speed. He's there in position number 2 on the racetrack. Is a good restart for Clay Bellamy. Bellamy quickly back on the loud pedal, looking to try to keep all these drivers back there in the dust as Zach Later right there with Jordan Fisher. Here comes that 16 ride, though. A big run for Matthew Wood as he's able to gain a couple positions as quickly move right on around the 57 of Applegate, the 37 of Evan Stewart right there, and now all over the back bumper here of Jordan Fisher, pushing Fisher down the front straightaway into corner number 1 here, just giving them the bumper out there on the racetrack. His drivers are not going to hold back. They're not going to live for anything here for the rest of this race, man. They know it's on like Donkey Kong, and the laps are counting down in a quick hurry, and their opportunity to potentially pick up this win are starting to go out the window. So you got to make sure you can keep your car pointed in the right direction, but look to keep on making moves and find your way into a position that you can steal this win. As Clay Bellamy out in front, looking to try to keep all these guys back there at bay. Here comes another good run from Jordan Fisher as Fisher backs up the corner there, looking for a good run on corner exit as he looks to reel in that 33, but now you see Matthew Wood up into the outside fence right there. Wood getting a big run out of corner number 2. Looked like he was trying to get to the outside of the 19 ride. The 19 came up, the 16 trying to roll out of the throttle. Unfortunately, as he did, car got tight, got up into the fence. Heavy right side damage there for that 16 machine. We'll see if that affects his ride. And now here we go. Evan Stewart now to the outside of the 16 machine, and he's looking to try to slide his way up to the front of the field as the caution flag does come back out. So caution flag back out onto the racetrack here. More carnage, more mayhem back here deeper in the field. And I feel like we're going to start with the 17 ride here potentially. I know there's a bunch of more drivers tied up in this one. There's a lot of cats that all of a sudden find themselves in a tough situation, as I do believe right here, just 3 wide, and man, heavy hit there for Keegan Huey as I'm not sure if the 3 just gets a big run. Looks like the 3 does get a pretty good run right here and just jumps to the middle. And all of a sudden, I don't think Huey really realized that they were 3 wide. And kind of comes up and they get tied together. They come up into Jordan Brinkley. Nowhere to go for Brinkley. And then it's turned up into that outside fence. Heavy damage there for him. Heavy contact for that 3 machine. And as the 3 comes back down the racetrack here, he's going to end up driving right into the lap here of the 17 of Bogart. Bogart just trying to race his way through this. Just trying to keep himself clean out there on the racetrack. It's easier said than done. And unfortunately here, he's going to find some pretty solid contact here in this one. Let's jump on board with Jason Bogart as there's the contact in front of him as they bounce down off the outside fence right across his lap. And unfortunately, heavy front end damage down through the grass here, and a few more tore up race cars and another caution flag out there on the speedway to get things that much more exciting, that much more intense here this evening as we do see Clay Bellamy coming down pit road here. So Clay Bellamy going to give up the race lead. He comes down pit side. Josh Kreider also down pit road, and the 32 of Nick Biddy. So about 3 or 4 drivers headed down pit side there as here comes Jordan Brinkley, the tore up number 11. Ryan looking to get some repairs and looking to get some fuel and maybe tires onto his car. The 17 ride, unfortunately there, the 17 machine. Did he disappear? Jason Bogart here, I do believe, is at least a lapper. A few laps down out there on the racetrack is that Zin machine. Unfortunately, gotten tied up in quite a few incidences here this evening. Same with Keegan Huey and Ethan Greek, Michael Ponder Jr. A lot of these drivers have some very tore up race cars. The 95 rider Jacob Heffner still down pit road here, and a lot of them may not come back out onto the racetrack here this evening. As out in front, it's Jordan Fisher. Fisher continuing to lead this race as we inch closer to about 20 laps left to go here when we go back to Green Flag Racing, as I'll be right back here in just a couple more moments. We'll get a quick break and get ready for our final 20 lap run stint.
Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the ground stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the ground stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go. Back to Green Flag Racing as you see the 37 ride of Evan Stewart hanging back here quite a bit. And he's going to spin the tires. He gets up into the fence. Zach Claytor goes around. Noel Blackwell goes around, and the caution flag back out on the racetrack. Caution flag coming right back out as soon as we go back to Green Flag Racing here in this one. We saw something was going on with that 37 ride. He was hanging back right there, looking to try to get a big jump and a big restart right here. Unfortunately, as he tries to do that, he spins the tires. As he spins those tires, man, unfortunately, a lot of these guys back here behind him, Noah Blackwell, Zach Later, they got nowhere to go as he's trying to get onto the throttle, trying to time this jump, and unfortunately misjudges it, and as he gets onto the throttle, just spins these tires around, man, and around this car goes up into the outside fence right here. Everyone trying to squeeze down around him, unfortunately bounces off the wall, ends up clipping the 39, ends up clipping the 18. They both go around here, and you see everyone else trying to get through there, and unfortunately heavy contact there for Nick Biddy, heavy contact for Josh Kreider, and a bunch of these other drivers, man, just getting absolutely demolished down on the front straightaway here in this one. Man, tough break for Josh Kreider, having a sneaky decent race here, kind of keeping himself out of trouble for the most part until this one finally caught him, just trying to snake his way through here, not expecting to see these drivers wrecking right off the restart, and all of a sudden they are, and he's trying to get checked up, and nowhere to go there. Ends up getting clipped a couple times. Pretty heavy contact into the front end, into the back end, and you see Noah Blackwell turned around, the 39 ride of Zach Claytor tied up into, and a bunch of drivers that were up inside of our top 6 out there on the racetrack tore up and turned around right there, and unfortunately now having to come down pit side and get some repairs, as we did see Grant Applegate, Nick Biddy, a bunch of these other drivers head down pit side. Trent Johns now back on to the lead lap in the 8 ride, and he rolls now into the 4th position. Clay Bellamy, he's now into position number 3 with Jaden Porter and Michael Durham Jr. leading this race. Absolutely amazing seeing Michael Durham Jr. in that loving memory of Ely. Number 00 ride out in front, leading this race right now. Even though it's under caution flag, it's beautiful to see this car leading this race in a race made for his son here this evening. So a wonderful sight here. Wonderful to see this car at the front of the field leading laps here in the Ely 300. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll get them ready to rumble here again. We'll get ready for another restart now. I thought that was possibly going to be the final restart of this race. I don't know who I was kidding. Obviously, that was not going to be the case, and we quickly saw that caution flag come back out. We'll get ready to try it all over again. We'll get ready to give this another attempt, another opportunity to try to go to the checkered flag here this evening. Don't go anywhere, so you don't want to miss how this race is going to finish or how many more cars are going to get tore up and destroyed out there on the racetrack.
Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the ground stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the ground stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, adding flames to the style. Speed demons on the track.
Alrighty, here we go. Another attempt at it here this afternoon. Another late race restart as the 0-0 Michael Durham Jr. leads the way. He's got Jaden Porter there to his outside. Door to door, down into corner number 1. He already seems starting to spread out. 2, 3 wide, 4 wide, back there deeper through the field as everyone trying to race their way to the front of the pack here, looking to try to pick up the checker flag here at Charlotte. As the 0-0 Michael Durham Jr. leads this race. He's got Clay Bellamy now to his back bumper as they send it down into corner number 3. Nice and easy, down and out of 4, and here comes Noah Blackwell. Where did Blackwell come from? And he must have had an extra set of tires back there behind pit wall as that 18 ride making quick work of most of these drivers and quickly trying to hunt down that 00, and he's looking to maybe put himself up and into victory lane. Everyone else still trying to navigate their way through here. A lot of other drivers deeper in the pack look like they got some speed. Unfortunately, just kind of stuck a little farther back in the pack as you see the 16 rider Matthew Wood. He's trying to navigate the traffic. Same with that 19 rider Jordan Fisher. Drivers who've been up in the front of the field for multiple laps of the 00 gets a piece of the outside fence. Now they're 2-3 wide down through the tri-oval here, and somehow or another they're able to keep it clean and green. We keep it green flag racing here on the racetrack as you do see Noah Blackwell able to take that race lead away. So Blackwell now our race leader here this evening is the 33 of Clay Bellamy trying to hang right there with them. Jaden Porter there in third with Trent Johns back in fourth, and Matthew Wood rounding out our top 5 on the racetrack. Matthew Wood there in that 5th position trying to pick up another big win here on the season, and what it would be to find victory lane again for the 16 ride is Jordan Fisher, Josh Kreider, the 57 ride of Green Applegate, Zach Perry in the 1776, number 76 ride rolls there in the 9th position, and you do see that 00 ride of Michael Durham Jr. there to his outside. As here comes Caden Gargiulo a little farther back. He's our 11th place driver, as unfortunately for the 99 of Logan Perriman and that 34 of Mr. Aiden Lucas. They are both unfortunately at least a lap or multiple laps down back there deeper in the field, and unfortunately not in the hunt here for a top 10 run as of right now, but a couple more caution flags and potentially they could be right into the mix here this evening as you do see the number 19 of Jordan Fisher down onto the apron here. Oh brother, heartbreaker here for Jordan Fisher. Let's take a look back, see what happens to him, as I'm not sure if there was contact or if he got into the fence. What happened here to this number 19 ride as he's just rolling down low underneath the 8. And it's a little bit tight, washes up the track, and then all of a sudden, he's going to take this car down onto the apron and off the racetrack. He's rolling fine down the back straightaway, and yeah, just heads down to the apron here, rolls this car down the racetrack, and rolls right on down and into pit lane here. I'm not sure if there was a fuel issue or a tire issue here for the 19 ride, but unfortunately for Jordan Fisher, one of those drivers that was battling for most of this night for the checkered flag, all of a sudden he is down and out of this race as the Bad Dragon number 18 and Noah Blackwell continues to lead the way. Blackwell out in front, but here comes Matthew Wood. Wood up and in the third, now looking for second as he rolls down low and around Clay Bellamy. Bellamy back into third, and here comes Applegate right there as well, not too far behind, trying to race his way into this fight with Jaden Porter as him and Porter door to door back here for position number 4, but they're nose to tail here at the front of the field. Drivers trying to figure out which way they need to go, which lane they want to be in, and a big block right there of the 18 of Noah Blackwell. Blackwell going to try to do everything he can to keep all these guys back there at bay as we are within our final 10 laps of racing action here in this one. As GB says, second week in a row, 38 is killed. Oh baby, that is no good as they continue to battle here, and now this is the best news in best case scenario right here for that 18 rider Noah Blackwell's. Blackwell all of a sudden sees them battling door to door back here for position number 2, and that's exactly what he wants to see. If they duke it out there for second, it may allow him to try to open up that race lead and try to pull away from everybody else out there on the racetrack. As the Bad Dragon 18 right at the front of the field, Matthew Wood though able to slide back up, clear that 33 right of Bellamy, and quickly reeling back into the rear bumper of that NJB Designs number 18 ride. Applegate now trying to slide his way around this 33 machine as the 33 down low, the Majula State Speed Shop Team CFM Esports ride door to door with that Red Bull racing machine of Grant Applegate. Looks like Applegate down the back straightaway will use that momentum and take third away as here we go. Applegate and Wood both going to try to put the pressure onto the back bumper here of that number 18 and Noah Blackwell, but Blackwell has shown a ton of speed here all evening cruising long, and he is not going to back down anytime soon. He knows that this is a big opportunity for him to punch his ticket into victory lane and get a big dub here on the season. Early on here is Noah Blackwell out in front. Still holding that 16 right back there at base. See Applegate all over the back bumper here of Matthew Wood. Matthew getting a big shove down the back straightaway, potentially getting a big run, but it opens up the door down low for the 57 of Applegate to go door to door with him. Once again, this is exactly what that 18 of Noah Blackwell wants to see. He wants to see him continue to duke it out, but doesn't want to see a caution flag as there's contact in Wood. Oh, baby Wood, hard contact up into the outside fence. Not once, but twice. We keep it clean and green, and unfortunately for Matthew Wood, his opportunity to win this race just went out the window. I do believe for that 33 ride as well, it is going to throw him out of this race as well, as he is not going to be able to really battle back from that one. It's hard contact here. These guys are just battling hard out here on the racetrack, and all of a sudden, see if we can pull this forward here just a little bit, is down into corner number 1. He gets a good run to the inside here of Matthew Wood, then ends up getting into Wood. And Wood gets sideways. They bounce off each other. Down onto the apron goes the 33. Watches back up the racetrack here. Has to roll out the throttle to keep himself out of the fence. Unfortunately for Matthew Wood, he did find the fence as Michael Durham Jr. jumps up into position number 3. But now he gets a shot from the 33 ride. He gives him a big bump up into that number 34 there. 3 wide again here. Down across the line. 3 wide, and they're going to make more contact. Now the 33 up into the fence. Heavy damage there for Bellamy. Bellamy hard up into the wall here in this one. Oh, baby, you know, Michael Durham Jr. wasn't happy with the contact earlier. Now getting another big bump here, and I'm not sure if he got drove down into the corner as well, as it looks like that 33 has been all over his back bumper here, pushing this 00 ride in. Well, Michael Durham Jr. trying to hold on to third here. Really not a whole lot he can do. He can't control this car back there behind him, and unfortunately, with all this bumping and banging and pushing him down into the corner here, he's just trying to keep this car pointing the right direction. Has to roll the throttle, not to run up into that 34 right, then gets that bump from the 33, pushes him into the 34, then they're just going to get tied together, and Durham finally says, you know, I've kind of had enough. I'm just going to drive in here, I'm going to hook him, and we're going to both go into the fence, and both our nights are going to be over. And that is a heartbreaker there for Michael Durham Jr., heartbreaker there for the Majula State Speed Shop 33 ride. Looks like their nights may be done here, as that was a very, very vicious hit, very heavy hit for both of these cats out there on the racetrack. As let's take a look back here and take another look at it here and see if we can continue to break this down between the two of these drivers, as they've been fighting here pretty much all night long. And let's see if we can jump on board with Bellamy here on the racetrack. As here we go, he's going to get a big run right here. Gives a shot right there. There's one shot. He's staying right on the back bumper. Now he's going to get another shot right here. And he's going to continue to keep on pushing. Another shot right there. And then down into the corner. Here we go. He sees the 00. Watch up the racetrack. Doesn't roll out of the throttle. Rolls right into him. Bumps him up the track. Now they're 3 wide. And that's when they're going to make the initial contact there. More contact right there. And he's just going to get turned and into the fence. And good night, Jim Kite. Woo, baby! We didn't realize this was going to be a crazy one here this evening, but boy, oh boy, has it ever been a wild race. And for Wyatt Mickelson, man, this race just keeps getting crazier for the 51 ride. I don't know how many times we've seen him go a lap down or multiple laps down to Wyatt. I do believe just got the free pass, and I'm not sure if he may be back on the lead lap now for this 51 machine. And Wyatt may still end up with a top 10 run here this evening. And the way this is going, he may still end up winning this race for our pole sitter here this evening, after early issues having to come down pit road on the opening lap, and then the chaos and carnage has just been unfolding around him here. He's got tied up in a few different things, went multiple laps down multiple times, and keeps on battling back here and back on the lead lap, right back into the action. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, who do you think gets it done? Do we think Noah Blackwell hangs on to the race lead, or do we see someone like Grant Applegate, Jaden Porter, Zach Perry, Caden Gargiulo, Trent Johns, Josh Kreider, Matthew Wood, Nick Beatty, or Michael Durham Jr. still rolling out there? Durham still had that quick repair, so Michael Durham Jr. keeps on racing here this evening. He's not done as of yet, so you see the 00 still out there, as we do see Jordan Brinkley head down pit road. We did see Wyatt Mickelson also head down pit side here, both looking to get some repairs onto their ride. Zach Clader still out there in the Navy 39 ride, just on the outside of the top 10 looking in. And Logan Perriman, he's still a lap down out there, maybe even multiple laps down here for the 99 ride as he rolls back in the 15th position. Joe David still rolling out there. Michael Potter Jr. now up into 17th. Lee Bellamy, he's off the track. He's back there in 18th, but will continue to fall as Jason Bogart there in 19th. Jordan Fisher looks like his night is done. Same with Evan Stewart. Ethan Greek, he's off the racetrack. Keegan Huey still down pit side. Scored back in 23rd. Caleb Holloman. Jacob Heffernan, he's down pit road. Ryan Haller. Caleb Sisk. Nick Jensen. Benjamin Romano. We've lost a lot of drivers here tonight, chat. How many? We're down probably about 10 drivers or better since what we started with. We started with 29. There was definitely not 29 left out there. We may still have 19, 18 drivers still rolling out there on the racetrack. It's been a lot of chaos here in this one, and now we get to go to a little bit of NASCAR overtime here at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League in the Eli 300 here this evening. Noah Blackwell, the control car here on the restart, which could be officially our final restart of the day unless we see the caution flag come back up before the white flag. We will then line them up and do it all over again, but if we do see that white flag fly, the next flag will end this race no matter what. As the 18 looking for a big jump, they make contact, they're wrecking already. Oh baby, look out, Blackwell goes around. Oh, Applegate tied up into it, now they're all slamming in there. More damage here for Wyatt Mickelson, Aiden Lucas, the 17 ride of Bogart, as it didn't take long for us to figure out if we were going to have another attempt at NASCAR overtime here in this one. Let's take another look at it as Blackwell trying to get this good run, good restart here. Applegate trying to time it perfectly, tries to get a little bit of a launch right there, and I think Blackwell just spins the tires. Unfortunately loses that car, comes down across the nose of Applegate. They get tied together, making that contact. Unfortunately, both drivers going to go for a loop-de-loop here, and for the Pat Dragon ride, he's going to end up getting some contact there, and a little bit more contact as a couple more drivers slide in there, slam into him, and unfortunately, his fantasies are not going to be going real here this evening, and his fantasies are going up in smoke here this afternoon, as had a golden opportunity to potentially win this race, and now looks like his night is going to be over as he speeds it down pit road, makes more contact with the wall, and looks like he's going to tow that car down pit road here, and unfortunately that's going to put him multiple laps down and out of this race. So another restart on the horizon. Who would have guessed it, ladies and gentlemen? Who would have guessed it there? I definitely didn't. I thought that was going to be it. I thought we were going to see a heck of a battle there between Applegate and Porter and Zach Perry there and Blackwell. Man, I thought it was going to be a dogfight down to the end, but all of a sudden, a couple more drivers from the front of the field are no longer up there as Applegate's down pit road. He's looking to get repairs. We see Wyatt Mickelson back down pit side. He's going to get more repairs done to this HendrickCars.com machine. Brinkley's back down pit side. He's still trying to get that car fixed up here after multiple issues out there on the racetrack. And Logan Perriman now up and into position number 13 on the Speedway. And pretty up there, man. For a driver that's a couple laps down, to be still scored inside the top 15's got to feel pretty good. Same with Joe David and Michael Potter Jr. out there on the racetrack, as I do believe Michael Potter Jr. is like 3 laps down out there and still inside the top 15 now. So, bit of a crazy one, chat. Oh, man, this is definitely a crazy one, definitely a long one, man. Not many broadcasts other than our full-length NASCAR races tend to go this long into a race. This is a already 2.5-hour broadcast rolling into going towards 3 hours here by probably the time this one ends, and definitely a longer one here tonight as a lot of caution flags, a lot of laps, a lot of time out there on the racetrack, a lot of time under the caution flag here, cruising in behind that official iRacing pace car. I'm sure they probably had to top that thing up with fuel by now as Zach Perry, right behind him. He may have to push that safety vehicle down and off the racetrack if he starts to spit and sputter out there on the Speedway. As Jaden Porter in position number 2 here. We saw Porter get tied up, tore up early in this race. He was a couple laps down. He's back into it. Same with Trent Johns. Now he's here in 3rd. We did just see that 16 right of Matthew Wood battling for the race win. Got bounced up into the outside fence there, and unfortunately him and the 16 or the 33 ride got tied together, and the 16 ride ended up with some heavy front end damage, but he's still right in the fight. We saw Josh Kreider not too long ago. He got tore up and thought his night was potentially done and over with. He's there in 6th. Michael Durham Jr. brought up the caution flag. There are a few laps to go between him and the 33 Ryder Bellamy. Here he is rolling up in position number 7 on the racetrack, getting ready for a restart here, looking to try to see if he can still accomplish a top 10, top 5 run here this afternoon. As Zach Perry out in front, getting ready for a big restart. Here is the 1776 Motorsports ride in a prime position now to potentially pick up this checkered flag and put himself up into the winner's circle here. For Jaden Porter, what it would mean for him to be able to pick up the win here on the season here in his own league here, as him and a couple other drivers made this all happen, got this series going, and good to see him up here having a good run, a solid run as go nice and easy down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. We'll see that pace car once again head off and down pit road here, as this is our 2nd attempt at NASCAR overtime. If we do see the caution flag come back out, we will have one more attempt at NASCAR overtime. If the caution flag does come back out in that 3rd attempt, we will call the race at that point. So we will know we will not go longer than 3 overtimes here. As you see the 48 ride of Josh Kreider trying to get a big jump right there. Unfortunately, ends up hurting him more than it helped him right there, as he's going to slide back a few spots there off the restart. Unfortunately, that's going to really hurt Nick Biddy as well, as Zach Perry out in front gets a big run. Here is the 74 of Jaden Porter, washes up the racetrack here, right in front of that 16 of Matthew Wood. Wood kind of trapped, nowhere for him to go. He's trying to find a lane, trying to find that groove, trying to see if he can find a little extra speed to try to hunt down this number 74 in the 76 right of Zach Perry out of corner number 4. We'll see that white flag fly. So this will be our last lap here this evening. No matter what happens back there behind, Zach Perry is Perry out in front, has a couple car length lead. He's trying to keep all these drivers back there at bay, as look out Matthew Wood almost going around there out of corner number 4. There's still 2, 3, 4 wide, beating and banging, bumping back here into corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. No one will catch him, as Zach Perry will pick up the checkered flag here at Charlotte. Zach Perry gets the win. The 1776 Motorsports Busch Latte number 76 of Zach Perry will find himself up and into victory lane here at Charlotte. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Zach Perry, as he's able to find himself up and into victory lane here this evening. What a run and what a drive there for that 76 machine. Jaden Porter able to hang on to 2nd, and Matthew Wood rounding out our top 3 here this evening. Zach Glader and Caden Gargiulo our top 5 with Applegate. Trent Johns, Josh Kreider, Wyatt Mickelson somehow getting a top 10 there, coming home in 9th, and Michael Durham Jr. rounding out our top 10 here this evening, man. What a run and what a drive and what a finish here for that Busch Latte number 76 machine. He's not burning down the house as of yet. He's just got to park down there, maybe trying to save the ponies or waiting for his teammates to come join him here on the front straightaway to start partied up here in this one. It's him and the 17, right? They're going to go tip the tip here. Okay, that sounds a little wrong there. Tip the tip there down on the front straightaway here in front of the fans at Charlotte Motor Speedway in a beautiful ceremony here. These guys are getting ready to celebrate a big win down there, as they are tip to tip on the racetrack, as we'll get ready to pull our race winner and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here to our race winner, Zach Perry. Zach Perry getting it done here in this one. Let's see if we can get him up here into the booth. We don't see him in here yet. Let's see if we can drag him in from the other channel. Hey, Zach, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Zach, man, what a run, what a race, man. There's been so much action, so much stuff that's happened, man. I don't even know how your day went. I'm assuming just like everyone else's, man, up and down, maybe a couple laps down, getting lucky dogs and wave arounds and getting back into the action, and then all of a sudden late in this race, as drivers continue to keep on wrecking themselves, you find yourself at the front of the field, in control of the restart, and you're able to just time it perfectly, keep these guys back there at bay, not have another yellow flag come out behind you, and put yourself up here into victory lane, man. Take us back through this race, and what's going through your mind right now as you get to celebrate here on the front straightaway?
Yeah, stage 1, I asked my buddies, I said, what am I doing wrong? I was all the way back in 22nd, and that was off pace, not a wreck or anything. and just kind of took what advice they gave me and just somehow ended up there at the end. I have no idea how it happened, but here we are.
Yeah, I'm not sure how a lot of these guys even kept on racing, how the field stayed as big as it did for as long as it did, because it seemed like we were wrecking a lot of cars out there on the racetrack. There was a lot of big wrecks, a lot of tore up sheet metal and race cars out there on the racetrack, and pretty much everyone getting tied up in at least a little something out there as they was non-stop beating and banging, battling, man. Take us through some of these restarts as there was a lot of contact, a lot of leaning on each other out there on the racetrack, man, and take us through, kind of what you saw from the cockpit of this 76 ride.
Insane. I just every time put it on the bottom because I knew they were going to send it 3 wide, and if I was on the bottom, maybe on the backstretch I could pull off when they were wrecking. And yeah, crazy. Just kept it clean all race, and didn't have any horrible damage, but somehow at the end, just luck was on my side tonight. So good to win, I guess.
Hey, sometimes, brother, it's better to be lucky than good out there on the racetrack. And here tonight, a little bit of luck, a little bit of goodness, and you're able to find yourself up here into victory lane, man. How's it feel to be able to find yourself into victory lane here with that 1776 Motorsports team?
Good, great. Yeah, we they all had three of my teammates had this track circled for a while, and not me. This is my worst mile and a half. So, and I just was out here. It's like I'm gonna keep top 10 streak alive, keep it going, and just as I kept falling there at the end, I saw everybody that was really fast keep getting in incidents, and I was like, hey, maybe I got a shot. And then that last restart, I was like, I'm just gonna give them all, see what happens. Got it. So
Absolutely.
good race though.
Absolutely. Great race. Amazing race here this evening. A long one for you guys, as I'm sure you guys are tuckered out after that one, man. A lot of stress, a lot of beating and banging, and here you are able to finish it all off, though, with a couple Busch Lattes down there in victory lane. Zach, man, who would like to thank for such a great run and great drive out there on the racetrack?
Definitely thank my teammate, Caleb Hoyleman. He races in this, and he was the one that told me, hey, just put it on the bottom and just let it rotate. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. And he got me up here. He should be up here because he's quicker than me. And then Jason as well races here. He's told me the same thing. So I needed them two guys to even be here. But I think my dad's watching. Thanks for watching, Dad. I think Brad's watching. Thanks, Brad. That's Jason's dad. So Z-Watt, thanks for watching. So it's a good race, good run. Thanks for broadcasting. Good league.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Zach, congrats on the win. Don't party too hard down there in victory lane, as we'll see you back out on the racetrack.
We're going to party. We're going to party, bro.
Perfect, brother. Have an extra Busch Latte on me tonight.
Yes, sir. Thanks for broadcasting. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night, brother.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Zach Perry. As Zach Perry able to get the win and pull himself up and into victory lane here this evening, we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher here this afternoon, the number 74 of Jaden Porter. Porter coming home in position number 2. Let's get Jaden up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Jaden, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
10-4.
Jaden, man, what a run, what a race, man. I feel like this one was a little bit more stressful for you as part of the Ambing group, part of the team that put this together here, and one of the owners of the series, man. There has got to be a lot of craziness going on. Post-race, during the race, all of it together. You're still trying to run your race after getting bounced around a few times, going a few laps down and battling back, and all of a sudden, you have a shot of winning this race, and you end up coming home with a solid second-place finish in what was probably the craziest race of the year.
Yeah. I mean, like, Charlotte is one of my best tracks for sure. So, like, put in a lot of practice just to try and be up front today. Stage 1, Stage 2 didn't go too well, but we were able to cut through the field pretty well in Stage 3 there and find our way up top. On the final restarts there when everyone pitted for tires and I didn't, I was questioning my choice there, but it ended up being the right call to finish out the P2.
Absolutely. Anytime you can jump up here and keep all these drivers back there at bay is definitely a good night for yourself, man. But I'm sure you guys were Probably pretty stressed up there, man. There was a lot of cautions. There was a lot of contact, a lot of craziness that unfolded. I'm sure the temperatures in, a lot of these drivers' living rooms were starting to heat up as you could see the frustration and everything else start to boil over for a lot of these drivers. And I'm sure you guys had to hear a lot of it over the voice comms.
Yeah, it was getting pretty heated in there. Like I think I was told on like the final restart, my heart rate was up to 180. So
Gosh darn, brother,
yeah,
that's a heart attack
we
right
were
there.
we were pushing it.
Absolutely. Well, man, you're able to finish this one off in a solid second place run here this evening and able to survive the craziness and the chaos out there on the racetrack, man. How does it feel to be able to park it up here on the podium tonight after what was such a wild race?
Yeah, I mean it sucks we couldn't get out there and get the win. We were so close, but just couldn't get it. But of course, I want to thank Sim Racing Center, AG's Design, Saints Media, everyone who's just allowed me to be up here and have this position. It really does mean a lot, and to put this car up front to have their support in that, it just means everything. So.
Absolutely, brother. Well, man, a solid run, a great drive all evening long here for you, man. And is there anyone else you'd like to thank for such a great performance out there on the racetrack?
I mean, as a team owner, I guess I can thank myself for giving me a good car, but
There you go, man. Well, you got to thank the guys down the shop, the pit crew down there as well for getting you down and out of the pit stalls and getting the repairs done needed in a quick time to keep you in this fight here this evening, brother. But, man, a great run, great drive, and we look forward to seeing you guys back in action next Sunday.
Thank you.
Heck yeah, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night. Hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth.
Hopefully.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher here this evening, Jaden Porter. Porter coming home there in position number 2. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for that number 74 ride as the Sim Racing Center's machine comes home there in position number 2. Now we'll get ready to pull in our third place driver, the number 16, Matthew Wood. Matthew Wood coming home in position number 3. Let's get Matthew up here into the broadcast booth. Hey Matthew, it's Aaron up here at the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Hello, me and my onion chips are here with you.
Perfect, man. Well, hey, you gotta recoup a little energy after this one, man, as that was a wild night of racing action, man. Take us back through this one, man, from your point of view out there on the racetrack. Obviously, a lot of craziness, a lot of different strategies, and chaos out there, contact, and drivers pushing and shoving, beating and banging, elbows up, racing every single lap out there for 200 laps here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, man. You're able to come home and still bring it home in third after a few issues, a few heavy hits out there for yourself, and still had a good opportunity there late in this race to potentially get up and steal this win.
Yeah, definitely an interesting one for sure. I got in with about 50 seconds left in qualifying. So I'm not going to go through the whole story. It's going to take too long, but tree fell on a power line because I'm in West Virginia. It happens freaking every 10 minutes. And they went up to fix our power pole, and the power company broke the neutral in half and basically almost blew our house up and left it there for overnight. So our power was surging. Thought it blew up my PC. Didn't. Blew up all the surge protectors we had. So I plugged it up to the battery backup that we have, and the monitor wasn't working right. It was teleporting everywhere, and I was like, you know what? Something's probably wrong with it. We reset the computer, delete everything, because that's what, again, if you don't know the computers, that's what happens when you reset it. And excuse me, I can still download everything. I didn't do a full factory reset, but I was trying to download iRacing as quickly as I could before the race. I was like, guys, it's not going to download. It's stuck at 99%. And that's when qualifying was going on, and I got in with like 50 seconds left and no practice. So, yeah, I'm just happy. I'm really happy with third there, because I wasn't going to pass Jaden. I was going to push him all the way. I was hoping that I would have given him a good enough push off the restart to get him at least to the right front of Zach, but Zach did an incredible job in 1 and 2, and Jaden's just, like he probably mentioned, on old tires. So I tried my best for Jaden, but unfortunately just that much short. And but again, the likelihood he told me the likelihood of him winning with that old of tires wasn't very high. But I just wish I would have given him a little bit better of a push. And I hate it for Noah. Noah hasn't won in a very long time, and I just it. I hate to see that happen. We were just looking at it. It actually looks like Zach net coated Noah's back bumper and spun Noah's tires, and he was in first gear as well. And goes into Grant. Grant probably had the next best car tonight. I think we had a good one. Grant had a good one. Zach showed some strength there at the end, but again, I just hate it for all those guys. But yeah, definitely a fun night, but stressful. That's really stressful.
Definitely very, very stressful. And yeah, talk about good cars, man. There's a lot of them out there that probably could have won this race, probably could have had at least a good finish out there. You look back at some drivers like Evan Stewart. Stewart had a very good car out there, and a couple other guys, man, that probably had a fast car, just never got to show it. You look back at Wyatt Mickelson, he just had to make that pass-through penalty on the first lap, giving up the pole position, going to the rear of the field, and instantly getting tied up in more wrecks, and just kept bouncing back and forth between, laps down and back on the lead lap. And here he is coming home still with a top 10 run. As a crazy night, a lot of action, a lot of chaos for pretty much every driver out there, between contact and getting turned or being tied up in a bunch of these big wrecks, and somehow some of these guys still able to survive and keep on rolling out there on the racetrack. I don't know how we didn't finish with like 3 cars out there on the racetrack.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was a lot of wrecks out there, but I mean, again, this is the longest race we have all year. It's a race of attrition, and I'm not sure what happened with Clay. I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to go back and look at it, because I'm not going to say it was his fault. I'm not going to say it's mine until I see it. I thought I gave him enough room, but also it's a very high likelihood that we both merged into each other, or I just kind of tried to cut the last part of the quad oval too much and got into him. Either way, though, fun race. Got to thank the AG Motorsport guys for putting us on. A lot of us are admins. Me, Aiden. Unfortunately, Aiden was just about to get back on the lead lap and gotten like 3 different wrecks, but Jaden and Grant and Evan. That's another one. Evan, really fast car. But again, thank you as always for doing what you do every week. And yeah, thank the Lord for what He's done for me and for what I always will. We're coming to the end of school, so I'll hopefully get to race some more in different places. I just can't wait for it to be freaking over finally.
Absolutely, brother. Well, hey, I would tell you to stay in school, brother, because then you got to go into the real world and you got to work every day, and that's no fun. That's no fun. Oh, man. But heck of a run, heck of a race here for you tonight, Matthew. Almost picking up another win here on the season, but you settle in for a solid 3rd place run, man. We can't wait to see you back out on the racetrack next Sunday.
Thank you, man.
Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, brother.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, Matthew Wood. Matthew coming home there in position number 3. A solid run, solid drive there for that 16 ride. A heck of a run, heck of a drive by all these drivers here tonight, man. A lot of craziness, a lot of chaos, a lot of carnage, a lot of beating and banging. I'm sure there's a lot of emotions that are running high, a lot of drivers that are not very happy or very pleased. Probably going to go to bed mad tonight here after that one, man, as that was a crazy, crazy race all evening long, man. They really duked it out, man. They beat the piss right out of each other out there on the racetrack. But man, heck of a run, heck of a drive here. We can't wait to see all these drivers back out on the racetrack next Sunday night for some more racing action, and we'll see maybe some of them even back in here tomorrow evening. I'm not sure if there's any that are in our truck series tomorrow night, but nonetheless, we'll be live tomorrow evening. We'll be back into the broadcast booth to watch the Metalheads Truck Series go to battle tomorrow night. So hopefully we see you guys there. Hopefully we see you guys back up in the grandstands cheering these drivers on and those drivers on in the Metalheads Truck Series. As can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming with the likes, the comments, the shares, any of the viewers, any of the new followers or subscribers. Welcome to the Peacemaker family, and we'll catch y'all back here in the next one tomorrow evening. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all later. Peace and love, baby. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, pacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, added flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. 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 Yeah. Burning rubber, tires screaming, engines go berserk. Pit stop precision like surgeons at work. Wheel to wheel, hands on the grip, no chill. Broadcast live, peacemaker keeping it real. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. 360 on the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. On the asphalt, danger a flirt. Every lap closer, the tires eating dirt. Peacemaker's lens, the hype ignites. Streaming the chaos under neon lights. Draft game strong, slingshot out the lane. Calculated risk deep in the veins. Checker flags wave dreams on the brink. Fast decisions where you barely get to blink. Yeah. From amateurs to legends, it's all the same heat. One wrong move might sweep defeat. High octane stakes climb mile by mile. Peacemakers mic hot, added flames to the style. Speed demons on the track, hearts racing with the sound. Slide tight in the curves, sparks flying off the ground. Victory's a beast, it don't come easy. Wheel to wheel racing, the grind stay greasy. Greasy, the grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy. The grind stay greasy.